1 second.
Well, I mean, go for it, but yeah. Sure. How quiet do you have to be for the
I don't know, but I want to dance like Zelda does.
Like Zelda.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the newest episode 40 of the Drunken Guardian Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, the Drunken Guardian, Danny Martinez, and today we got our usual suspects, which is Kevin, the Boneless Bones,
The cocoon.
the
Hello.
Cocoon
Dennis
with the
Cocoon.
weighted blanket.
Let me live with my blanket.
Yeah,
Worry about Superman. Checking him out.
Randy the Ragnarok is here.
I'm gonna hold on. Before we continue.
You forgot your picture yet again.
No, I didn't forget it. I'm actually gonna change it live, right?
Okay.
Mainly for Danny over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Nice.
What?
That's
that
from
some-
Monsters Inc.
Is that
It's
some
Randall.
inside joke or something?
His name is
That's
Randall.
Randall.
That's what he fucking calls me.
Oh, Randall. Oh, I did not. Wow, that went right over my head.
I just watched that movie with my kids last weekend.
Randall. Okay,
There you
gotcha. Yeah. And then, of course, Sober Guardian, Danny is here.
Hey, how's it going?
So, me and Danny, we were playing Outriders hella fast, trying to get through the story mode. And we finally beat the game just before we started setting up for the podcast. Not a very great ending. There's like two fights for the final boss. The first phase was kind of boring. The second one was not so bad, but like mediocre, whatever. But I'm like excited now to do the end game shit.
Yeah. I've been doing the endgame stuff past weekend. It was really fun. Challenging. It's like hundreds of mobs coming at you. It's really fun. It's interesting. Like you have to like gear yourself up and farm and do all that crazy shit that I hate doing. So I'll probably do like 1 or 2 more days and then give up. See what happens.
Yeah. Randy, what you been playing? What you been doing this week?
So because I finished Monster Hunter essentially for what it is now,
Yep.
I figured that I would go to the Nintendo store, well, the eShop on the fucking thing, and see if they had Bastion because I remember that they had it,
Ooh, yeah, good game.
and I'm like
Okay.
right at the last level. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I got it just on Saturday night around like 9ish,
Mhm.
and I almost beat it today.
Yeah, it's a short game,
Right.
but it's
It
so
is.
good.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's a lot sadder than I remember it being because I remember
Yeah.
that it was it had its heart wrenching moments,
Yeah.
and then going through it again, I'm like, wow, I don't feel okay. But no, it's good. It's really pretty. The mechanics are super amazing, even
Yeah.
on the Switch. Because I played it on PC before, like when I was 16 or like 15. That game is like it has some age to it because it was on the 360 first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a Xbox Live Arcade game or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Back when people were actually original with ideas, like Braid. Remember that one?
Right. Oh man.
Oh, that was good. I remember
Yeah, that's a
Brave.
good game.
Hell yeah.
So, Kevin, what about you? What you been
But
doing?
that was part of that whole indie thing, right? Like making these low budget games when Xbox Arcade came out.
Summer Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a
Kevin?
good idea.
Oh, okay. I've been fighting sleep and this cold, but as of late, I finally finished the what is the Easter egg for Call of Duty Cold War for one of the zombies maps,
What's
and
that?
it took.
What's the Easter
It's
egg?
been-
Yeah.
It's basically like a bunch of steps that you do to like get like a secret ending rather than just dying or leaving. And it took me and my nephew like 5-6 hours like of continuous trial and error, and we were just like, fuck it, we'll do it tomorrow. And literally the first game we played together, we did everything like perfectly. We didn't die like to the end. Everybody got out and we were like, yeah. And then like I only got my reaction of the end and I wanted to get the whole video, but Jesus Christ, that's like it was like 2 hours of gameplay, and I was like, let me just get the ending and then explain the rest to everybody else so that they know what's going on, and it's not just as confusing. But it was the most satisfying thing I've did like at all because I've never did an Easter egg for Call of Duty. So this was like a first for me and him. He was like, "Yeah, let's do it again." Now I'm excited for the next one, and I was like, "No, about this. I'm good with the one for right now." But we're working on the next one.
Is it like just the work you got to put in and shit?
Yeah, it's more so like the steps that you have to remember because there's some things that you're good with that somebody else isn't, and then it's like vice versa. So it's like the way that it happened so like perfectly. Like we did it with randoms too. So it was just me and my nephew, and then like two randoms. And then once we say, "Yo, we're doing the Easter egg," it's like everybody. It clicked to everybody. Like, all right, I'm gonna do these steps, these steps, these steps. So it was like felt so perfect, and I was like, "This can't be real. We're not doing this front." And then when we did it, and we was running to like the helicopter to get out of there, we were like. I was like, "Fuck yeah, good! This is really good."
That's cool. I like the Agresco T-shirt too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Favorite.
All right. So today, huh?
So that's our sponsor, right, for today?
That's our sponsor. I wish Netflix, right? Fucking people rolling and dope.
Season 4 already.
PDG, the animated series.
Because Netflix needs our money. I mean, it needs our
right. They need our
commercial.
approval or our advertising.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Everything.
All right, so today we got 4 or 5 articles here that so it was a pretty cool week. It was a pretty busy week. A little bit of some important stuff, some little things here and there. We're gonna go through the news, and we're going to, of course, go through the community question as well, and we're also gonna do the guess the game as well. Next week we'll do something a little bit different. I'm trying to come up with some new games for us to play. I think eventually I'm still gonna do 20 questions. Even though like that's the thing that like the IGN podcast does is they don't own the fucking game, so I'm gonna do that shit, and because it looks like fun. So eventually I'm gonna do that. But let's start off with the first piece of news. It's not really news. It's really just us talking about our impressions of the Mortal Kombat movie since it's based off a video game. So, Danny, actually, let's start on a positive note first, because I know you liked it more than most of us. So what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was great. I liked the movie. It was better than the original. They didn't rehash. They didn't make it. They kept it true to the game. There's a lot of great callbacks to the game. Even like the way the characters fought. They all fought very similar to the game, which is what you want. Keep characters true to what they are. Of course, this wasn't perfect. The movie wasn't. It wasn't like 10 out of 10. No, of course not. It was probably like a 6 out of 10, but it was better than expected because I expected it to be 100% trash. It was great for HBO. Maybe not to theaters, but then again, nothing's in theaters right now. I mean, they're in theaters, but they're both right now. Kano, definitely. Fucking everybody has to agree that Kano.
Oh, yeah. Kano was the movie right there.
I mean, and it wasn't even just his deliveries, it's the lines they gave him. For some reason, he had the best dialogue in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Except towards the end, after he turned bad. If you realize it, that he kind of
I should mention real quick because I forget that we also have an audio version. So, because I typed in the chat spoilers for the Mortal Kombat movie. So if you guys haven't not watched the movie for some reason, because it's also on HBO, so you can watch it at home. But if you haven't watched the movie, there's going to be spoilers. We're going to be talking about spoilers. So
pause this, watch the movie, and then come back to right now. Yeah. Okay. But
should I step out, watch the movie, and come back once it's all done?
Yeah. I'll wait. Okay. I'll wait. Let's pause right now. Go on, Danny.
No, we're waiting. Everything was. I thought the movie was a lot better than I thought of it. They did the Scorpion Sub-Zero in the beginning. It was almost like beat from that old YouTube thing they made. So that was kind of cool. That was cool. All the fight scenes were good fight scenes. I mean, all the fighting in it was really great. Some of the voice acting was pretty bad, but as you get for a bunch of no-name actors and that one name actor in that whole thing, they didn't 100% whitewash the cast. You didn't have fucking Christopher Lambert playing Raiden. It was just, the movie was good. My biggest beef with
hold on. Before you get to the negative stuff, because I also want to, because I feel like we're going to be talking more about the negative stuff. That's also why I want to start with the positive. And plus, like, what things could have been better, what they should keep, and things like that. But I want to go to Kevin now, also what he thought.
So, just like Danny said, the movie was, a personal opinion, I like the original first. It's not a negative. It's just like I personally like the original. But this movie, it was entertaining in the parts that they hit most, like the fatalities. And my favorite part in that entire movie was Kano getting trained by Liu Kang and him doing like the
Yes.
sleep.
The Kung Lao, yeah.
Yeah,
The cheese.
It was just,
The
it was just
sweet
the
cheese.
cheese. And I was like, that is the most cheapest shit in like the old Mortal Kombat games. And I was glad. I was so like, I was smiling and laughing when that happened. And I was like, yo, they really did this. Especially like the fake out jump. I was like, my
Yeah.
God.
Job, exactly.
I was
That
like,
was
this
perfect.
this is Mortal Kombat at its finest.
Yeah.
I like some of the and how they introduced Liu Kang was like, it was hilarious. It was just like a that's something that they did better than the first part. I would agree with that, because they introduced him with a fireball, because none of the live action movies had fireballs, and that was like the other live action movies
They had a
fireballs.
cheap last moment fireball at the end of the night.
Yeah, and Liu
Sparks
Kang literally
came out his hand at the end.
yeah, and like he just
Yeah,
threw it at Kano, and then that was something else. Like they were using Kano as like I would say a punching bag, because it was first Liu Kang, then it was Raiden that hit him with lightning. I was like, is he not human? Apparently not. But yeah, I agree. It was a good movie. Like honestly, don't want to say nothing negative now. I can hold that for later.
Well, I can
but
do that.
but I like. But
Go ahead, Danny.
I like the fact that they gave them power. Yes, it was kind of a cheesy, lame excuse, but they gave them powers. They gave them some type of explanation to how these humans are fighting the mortal realm and being on par with each other. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like realistically, if you watch the original movie, all those fucking realm people should have just killed them. Like Sub-Zero should have just froze everybody. It's just logically, it kind of made no sense.
It was kind of like an imbalanced fighting game.
Yeah, the original movie to me was a very imbalanced fighting game, and they found a way to improve that. To have an excuse, okay, you have to train your powers, you have to train before you can actually fight into the realm. And the people they made you fight, the bad guys in this movie, were the three lamest villains from Mortal Kombat series, but I think that was purposely done. So when you do the next movies, you have the good villains, the ones that are more known, and you put these crappy ones in first, because that's what it is. You know, these aren't the real champions. They're going to be fighting in Mortal Kombat. These are the ones that are just stalling. I mean, your best one is Sub-Zero. I mean, I thought that was interesting.
I got some gripes about that note right there. But before anything, because I know Randy's kind of left out. He didn't watch the movie, but Randy, like, did you hear anything good? Did you hear anything bad? Like, were you still wanting to watch the movie at all?
Let's see. There was your messages when I woke up, and some of my brother's friends, they enjoyed the movie. So I have like two parties that I trust both reviews for. So I'm like in the middle ground. I still haven't seen shit, and even if you guys spoil anything major, I'm probably gonna like zone it out, to be quite honest. So
I do that a lot. I'll be like, just tell me that, don't worry about it. And then as I'm watching it, it's like, oh yeah,
it clicks like that. Like, I think I heard this somewhere. Where the fuck was it? And I'm like, oh right, okay, there we go.
Okay.
But no, like I'll still watch it. Maybe with a grain of salt or two. But what was it? What did you say that it was? Really good CG shit story.
And I didn't think the CG was that great. I mean, I think Goro was obviously a lot better than it was in the 90s, but I still think the CG wasn't that great in the movie.
It was good.
Reptile looked good.
So
but,
Reptile looked good, but I wasn't happy with the way he looked, like just in general. Like I mean, obviously I didn't just want another like palette swap ninja like he traditionally is. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling the whole dinosaur look. I felt like I was watching like Super Mario Brothers all over again or something.
Can I tell you what?
But in the lore, that's what they are. That's what their race is.
Yeah.
Is the race
but there are so many different character models for Reptile, and that's just the one that I didn't like personally.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They can use in the next one, use the character model that you do like. To be
Hopefully.
like, look, rep, he's back, type of whatever.
Yeah, yeah. He was dinosaur looking thing. When you mentioned about the low rent characters, I guess you can say, or like the shitty characters that they wanted to get those out of the way. So I do agree with you with some of them, like Natara, for example, Cabal.
Yeah,
I fucking hated the way he looked. He looked like he was a bad cosplay of himself. It
he
was
did
it
look.
was it was
He,
really bad.
I did think he was the worst out of the whole.
Yeah,
He looked like a
and
bad like CGI,
I
not
didn't
CGI,
like the
but a
way he
bad.
acted. Shang Tsung, obviously he's the big bad, but he barely had any lines. Now, one person I do have a gripe with, and that is Melina, actually. And the reason why
Hmm.
Melina, like, even though Melina is not like the greatest popular fighter in the genre, she's a major important character in the story, in
Yeah,
the lore of Mortal Kombat. So to reduce her down to like this bullshit thug role where she just says a couple lines and then dies,
she
I
doesn't.
think
Does she
I
die?
think it's
Yes.
yeah. Sonya
Oh,
Blade
okay.
does her power move
Yeah, she
thing.
Power.
shoots her. Yeah, she
Yeah.
shoots her. You're right. You're right.
So
Power.
I wasn't happy with that. I was just like, all right, like it kind of sucks that they just killed her off, or
Yeah,
maybe they'll find some way to bring her back. It's a fucking Mortal Kombat movie, so I
yeah.
don't know.
Everybody comes
Who
back
knows?
from the other
Yeah,
realm.
I I I
I
I
think
don't.
that's what's gonna happen with Kano. By the way,
Yeah.
I think
he's gonna come
Kano's
with the
definitely gonna
medal.
come. He's gonna come with the metal plate on his face,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be part of their realm fighting for them. And I think that's how they're gonna bring him back in the next one because they definitely have to have him use the whole movie. And they'll probably bring back Melina, probably something similar, and maybe give it the more richer backstory because they did have like Katana's blade in the background. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
little
They hinted
little
at it. Yeah,
Easter eggs like that. But I do
yeah,
agree with that. That her story was a major story. Her being a clone. Melina's supposed to be a clone of Katana that gone
right.
bad, and you know,
And then, so my other piece of negative comment on the movie, sorry, is I loved how they set up everything between the feud between Sub Zero and Scorpion,
hmm
only to not see Scorpion for the last 10 minutes of the fucking movie. And then, so you see this like this battle finally built up to that point, and what confused the hell out of me. This is not a breaking point. I'm not saying this is a breaking point, but this is me nitpicking on
oh,
things. He has been in hell this entire time. Where the fuck did he learn English? Because he says get over here for the sake of saying get over here and then speaks Japanese for the duration of the movie.
And
that's true.
Rosetta
I was
Stone,
thinking
bro.
about that.
Rosetta
What
Stone
the
in
hell?
hell.
Well, maybe
no.
he always knew English. You don't know his backstory.
But he was from feudal Japan. They didn't have English then.
Kevin has something to say, guys.
Yeah.
Yo,
Uh,
I'm confused with that because not only that, how the fuck did Sub Zero know English? Like they were fighting people that were speaking English to them and they understood it. I'm like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Well, Sub Zero's
Sub-Zero's
different
been
though, because
here.
he's been
Yeah.
living this entire time.
Yeah, but he still does not speak English the entire movie. Is what I'm concerned about. But how does he
Does he
know what
not?
everyone is? No, the
No,
entire
he speaks Chinese.
He
he
spoke
speaks
Chinese the whole time. I can't remember.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even that, how the fuck does Sub Zero know Chinese? I mean, how the fuck does Scorpion know Chinese?
He
I'm like,
doesn't.
what? He doesn't. So he
No,
just knew what he
because
just knew
No,
what.
he's
because
Japanese.
yeah, because Sub Zero spoke Japanese also to him, but he spoke Chinese first, and Scorpion went and said, "I don't understand what you're saying, but just so you know, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
And then they move on to the
Because
fight
that
and
was
stuff like that.
that was a great part I thought they did on not just making it two different clans, but it's like the classic Japanese versus Chinese.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting to add on to it.
Yeah.
So
I don't
I
know.
like the movie. I thought the movie was good. I mean, yeah, they had little
Yeah.
nitpick things you can nitpick, but when that
Next
fight when they
question there,
started
Danny.
fighting, Sub-Zero and Scorpion at the end, it was a great fight.
It was.
My biggest gripe about the whole movie overall is that this movie was so high. It's not a long movie. It's not a lot of
An hour
movie.
40.
Yeah. So this movie was so heavily promoted with showing you the first 7 minutes, showing you a fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They showed you so much footage. They showed you a fatality. They showed you everything that you practically saw the movie in almost all. There wasn't too much scenes that were surprising. it was just like piecing together the beats
Well, the
because
thing
we
is
seen
also,
so many. And they
sorry,
needed to do it to try to make the money into theaters and all that BS,
yeah.
and to go, hey, look, we're not just a crappy, YouTube fucking Mortal Kombat movie. Ours to gonna be big, but it was just so heavily promoted that there was nothing that was a surprise
To
in this
mention
movie.
the promoting, my problem with that promoting is that the biggest focus in all the marketing was Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and
Mm-hmm.
there was barely any Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It was Sub-Zero chasing after this random dude that I really could care less about,
Well, that's
and then
my
Scorpion
that's my
eventually
second.
comes out.
That's not another big gripe I have with the movie is that they should have picked a character from the series. I don't know why they decided to make a new character.
Yeah,
Like I literally had to go, who the fuck is in this name? And then the powers they gave him were super lame.
right.
Oh, just the armor, like what?
He looked like a
Doesn't
Power
make any
Ranger.
sense. Yeah, and he pulled out like those fucking little fucking knife, those police fucking baton things, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what? This is bad. Like that no, I don't like the way that looks. I don't like the way it looked. That looked really cheesy. It looked worse than Cabal's outfit. Was his armor skin thing,
yeah.
and I think they should have stuck with,
They could have
they
easily
don't.
just still done Liu Kang, like, that he's going through the ranks of Mortal Kombat. They could have done Johnny Cage, and by the way, Johnny Cage isn't in
Yeah,
the movie. He could have been the one to like observe the whole Mortal
it
Kombat lore
should have
and
been
stuff.
maybe Johnny Cage doing it and training, but then what it is I think the reason why they chose not to do it is because Johnny Cage is a real big jokey character,
Yeah,
and you can't have you
two
can't
of them.
have him and Kano trying to
Yeah,
outshine each other.
yeah,
So I see why they did that and didn't make him, but they still could have picked something. Maybe focusing more on Sub-Zero. I mean, a Scorpion or something. I don't know, but either way, I think picking this random fucking guy. I like the fact that they kind of tried to tie it into the beginning, where it was like he's the which is unlike any other lore in this. It's a brand new lore, which he's the son of Scorpion, or
yeah.
one of his kids, or one of the fucking village little idiots that
It still
lived in
felt
the fucking
forced.
thing. Yeah, it did feel it felt super forced and they tried to tie it together with that, and that's the part that I really didn't like and I didn't appreciate because they had so much more characters they could have done. Still, but Jax was
Kevin.
cool. Jax with his arms, come on.
Nah, okay. Yeah, Jack. Okay, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take the assist from Danny, because I gotta take that, throw it up there, because I gotta get that layup. The way that they gave Jax, not even that, just in general, how everyone got their powers for me felt stupid. Like honestly, it felt like it wasn't like a cop out, but it was like they could have did it another way or something. The way Kano got his powers, okay, all right, he's a joke character. He eventually gets angry. He gets the eye.
Yeah.
Sonya just getting the beams, I was like, they could have just made it technology.
So they took whatever days or weeks, you can't really tell because they don't establish a timeline while they're training and get these powers. But yeah, Sonya Blade just killed Kano and then appears just like that in the next scene with her powers.
Like,
But they also tried to like show you that Sonya Blade was a much better fighter than all of them. Anyway, like she quickly, took out Kano in the beginning or whatever. Like she was a better fighter, she was better trained, but she was being the classic, like you're a woman, you don't have it, you don't have a mark, go away.
Yeah.
And she was like, what the hell? I can fight too. And I think that's what they were trying to do at the end. I was like, I'm already trained, I can do this shit.
Yeah.
So it just comes automatic. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, no. Even so, like even what they did that, I would have felt more if she was chosen and Jax wasn't, and he just got the arms. Like, I'm like, it would have made more sense because I felt Sonya was well trained, but they were just like, oh, whatever. She's a female or whatever, and then she eventually gets her powers and kills two people, like literally nothing. She kills two people back to back, like on some Call of Duty double kill shit. I was like, nah, get out of here with that. I was already like when she and especially like Melina's death felt like so like It was like
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
instantaneous.
I
I
was
was like,
kind of glad that they did do the mouth thing eventually,
but I,
because it
but
seemed
they
like
should
they
have.
weren't going to do that, but then it happens like at the last
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, it happens right before she dies. That's
Yeah.
like you opening a door and then the door ends up hitting you back or something. Like it's
Yeah.
so dumb. It was like I don't know. I hated that because I was like that was so it was so dumb to do it like that. They should have just like had her either with the mask and then like she you can't see her mouth and then she already has the mouth like that or something. For her to just like do the Joker smile and be like, "How you want to know how I got these scars? I just opened my mouth wide." And I'm like, no. I kept getting like when I saw that I was like, and she's dead, and I was like, well, I'm done. I'm already invested. I'm not invested anymore.
Oh, the
So you
ending.
just enjoy.
What was
Yeah.
that? Oh,
Look at
I
that.
thought Randy was saying. All right, well, I'm gonna leave it at that. Those are our thoughts of the pros and cons of the movie. I honestly still think they should make another sequel. I think they could still do better.
They could. I think they'll
Yeah,
make a sequel, and then they could do it in Outworld, or actually have the tournament go on. You know, and
I think it's just like I think they took it a little too seriously for a game that's very ridiculous. So the movie was just as ridiculous, but they were taking themselves too serious. That was kind
The,
of
the,
my feeling.
the thing with that movie, I don't feel like it's bad, but I like personal. I like Danny likes it. Cerebral Guardian likes it. I didn't hate the movie. I just kind of didn't. And I didn't hate it or like it. It was just like a. I watched the movie. Like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, it's like
and like I
I'm
can.
done.
Yeah, it was like I'm done. Like once I got to the like the ending, I was like, oh come the fuck on. I want to get out of here or something.
Yeah, oh, you
But
got your headphones.
yeah. I'm using my nephew's headphones. I'm getting
Oh,
mine
nice.
tomorrow.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on now. We're gonna go to the next article. Huh?
So you guys are done?
We are
Yeah, we're
done.
finally done.
Yeah, we're done. You can get away from the corner now.
or you have one job to do. So
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, he's got his own stuff going on. So
I know.
so the next article, well, not really an article, just still something else to talk about. Psychonauts 2 is now ready and playable according to Double Fine's Twitter account.
Oh, I love Psychonauts.
Yeah. So they
Oh,
haven't
fuck, that's
announced
one of my favorite games.
they haven't announced that it's gone gold yet, but you know, they're saying that they're able to play it fully at their studios. The original game came out in 2005, and we've been fucking waiting patiently for it. So I know Danny, you're excited for the game. Randy, since you've been MIA for this conversation, you want to start first about your
What
thoughts on
conversation?
Psychonauts 2?
What conversation was I missing for?
I forgot.
I'm actually pretty excited. I will admit, I played half of Psychonauts 1, and then I watched somebody else play like the entirety of it. Well, I wouldn't say the entirety of it, like just a kind of a condensed let's play, if anything.
Yeah.
Because for when I do like eventually get to playing the game, I don't want everything to be spoiled. Like I want bits and pieces to still be fresh to me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but yeah, no. From what I saw, it's amazing. One sec. Sorry. But no, from the bits and pieces I did see towards the end, they were really good. The game always controlled very well.
Yeah, it did.
Double Fine was. I haven't played any of the recent shit. Like what was it, Broken Age? I think.
Yeah, Broken
But
Age.
the platformers, like again, Psychonauts and Brutal Legend, I fucking love them. So for the second one to come out, I think that this one, like however long it takes to finally be released, it's gonna be worth it. Like it's not gonna be one of those games like Duke Nukem that it takes a fucking a yonk and a half,
That
and
that
then
was a
it's
question I was
fucking
gonna
steaming
ask.
pile of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Okay.
only thing I will say this. I'm gonna take my shot right now. I hope it doesn't pull like a Kingdom Hearts 3 that you wait all this time.
There's no
And even though
payoff.
it's still yes, exactly. And I don't mean like a conclusion to the story or anything, but that it's like a downgrade from the games prior, or in this case, the game prior,
Hmm.
where like it's overly simplified for what this current gaming generation is, but that like it does maintain its old like, hey, I came out in 2005, so I'm gonna continue playing with not just like the same difficulty, but the same controls as that.
Hmm. Okay,
So
that
yeah,
makes sense.
I have high hopes. I know Tim Schafer won't let us down.
Yeah, he's always been good with his games, especially the writing and directing and everything.
Oh, of course.
Kevin, what do you think about it?
Never played, and I'm going to just turn my camera off and
So now
mute
you're
my mic.
going to the corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to corner. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Oh, there he goes.
All right. Well, I mean,
Uh,
have you heard anything about it? Do you have any thoughts on it at all? Like, excited to
no,
try the sequel?
I have a thing with sequels personally. If I haven't played the first game, I don't play the second. So I have to find Psychonauts 1, which is most like Psychonauts 1, which is most likely on Steam, right? If I'm not
It
mistaken.
should
I
be.
have no idea.
I know that I have it. I just don't know if it's still there. I'll tell you right now.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Because I just
continue in the
opened.
I
meantime.
would assume
Oh,
it could be in Steam. It was a Microsoft published game, so yeah.
yeah. And I'll
Here's the
definitely.
thing though, because what is it? Onimusha 3 was on Steam before, and that one's off now, and I still have it. But
Mm.
I don't know. Oh no, Psychonauts is still there. Okay, so you're
Yeah,
fine.
so
Hey,
I'll
there you
definitely
go.
play. I'll
Nice.
Yeah.
play it. Two
So
games
For
out of
ten
Danny,
bucks.
so Danny, what are your thoughts on everything? And yeah, I know you're
You said
excited for it.
$10.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited for it because I remember playing the original game, not knowing what it was. Renting it from Blockbuster, of course, back in the
Yeah,
day. That was a thing.
I remember.
And um, just being like, "What is this? Is the fun game? It's a fun platform game. It was weird, the powers and all the stuff. And as you progress and going into people's heads, and it was a really good job they did. And the sequel looks like they took the same art style and just try to ramp it up a little bit. When I saw the trailer for that,
Hmm.
it like they try to polish it off, and not make it so blocky and make it nice. Give it that. I don't want to say Banjo-Kazooie feel, but like just they're trying to clean it up. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really about the graphics. It was about how the game played and the storyline that it had. So as long as they do a good job with that, I think you know it should be
Yeah,
fun.
I think I know what you mean. Like back in the day, even the graphics were great for the first game, but you could still see like
Yeah,
kind of the polygonal shapes and stuff like that. It was still kind of like
yeah,
it's still kind of rough around the edges, but like with the new game,
hmm
it's still the same art style, but it's just a lot smoother textures. It's
To,
actually a
which
little
I
bit
think is
more
a
to be
good
fair
move.
off-putting
though,
because it's weird. Like it's almost like that. Like when you look at a strange picture that's supposed to look human, but it's not human. It's kind of like what Raz looks
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
no, but
but that's
also
what
like
it's.
the polygons in the old one that added to the charm of it for what it
True.
was, and now that like it looks smoother, the charm isn't gone because everyone looks the same. It's just modernized to what we're used to now.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
I think
in terms of smoothness, yes, it's totally fine as long as Raz looks like Raz and everyone else looks the same in terms of like how oblong they were. It's perfect.
which is yeah, and I agree, and because that was what made the game weird and crazy is the way it had like that Tim Burton-esque feel, Nightmare of Christmas type feel to it. They had that certain look, and this just took it didn't try to change that. It didn't try to take it into a different direction and make it like a super serious game or whatever it was, making everything look realistic. No, they took it. It still looks weird, cartoony, has the same shapes. It look oblong, like you said, and I think that's a great thing. Keep it to what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even calling back to Brutal Legend, every single faction had its own like very distinct look. Like the
Hmm
metalheads were really like
Yeah.
they were very rectangular, very blocky as people, like big fucking metalheads. Then the what is it? Like the BDSM ones, they were like tall and very slim, and they had a kind of almost stabbing appearance to them, where
hmm
it's like you could tell that they enjoyed anguish. And then it was the goth ones that are just like very curved and like how to put it, like the emos in South Park almost.
Hmm.
So yeah, like that everything has its own aesthetic, and the fact that they stuck to their guns on that, it's good.
hmm
That's
So
cool.
I'm excited for it. So
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Same here with me. I'm still excited for it. I'm still a fan. I still have hopes. It's just like Randy said. It's fucking Tim Schafer. He has not disappointed me at all with any of his games. I mean, Brutal Legends was something that was a bit of a surprise when you realize it's an RTS game. But it still did well. It still kind of gave it that charm and kind of gave it that it stood out. to a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people were angry because it kind of felt misled because that's not where the marketing was. They didn't talk about the RTS portions of the game.
Yeah,
They
it,
focused
it
more
looked
on
more
the
like a hack
action.
and slash,
Yeah,
platformer kind of ordeal.
yeah,
And truth be told, do you want to talk about Brutal Legend for a little bit? Because
yeah, sure.
I'm down. All right, cool. I don't like RTSs
Me
at all,
either.
right?
Yeah.
If it comes to any like strategy games, I do prefer like Civ likes, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
like Endless Legend or Endless Space and something along those lines. But what really did make it like an easier pill to swallow was not only like the animation but also the music,
Oh
because the
yeah,
soundtrack was amazing,
oh yeah.
and it definitely helped like make everything a lot better. Because all right, cool, I got good music. The character, Jack Black was just Jack Black but buff. Um,
I mean,
and
you
like
had Ozzy Osbourne in the game.
you had almost
Geo,
everyone
Like
everybody. He
you
was in
had
that
all
game.
these
Yeah.
like yeah, he had these metal legends like literally. So it's just like it was awesome.
Yeah, and what I do like about that though is the fact that that wasn't the kind of like main selling point of it either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you had Jack Black as Eddie Riggs, you had fucking Ozzy in the game, but it wasn't like, oh, we have these guys, so play our game or whatever. It was just this is our game. If you like heavy metal and you want some fucking metal fantasy kind of ordeal, play it, and it did not disappoint.
Yeah, yeah. I
And even then,
think
the
Mhm.
RTS portion of it did go very well because it was still a hack and slash as well.
it
Because
did.
you did have to do your kind of unit
Yeah,
management,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
you could throw yourself into the fray.
That's what I was gonna say. It was like a watered down version of the RTS. It wasn't too
It
detailed where you
wasn't.
have to look for like there was still resource manager. There was still enemy, sorry, not enemy, soldier management, however you want to call it, all that stuff. But it wasn't to the extent where it was just like it felt like work. So
Hmm.
that's what made it fun. Also, is that those sections went by fairly quickly enough for you to enjoy the best part of the game, which was the story. The story was the best part.
Yeah. The only part I didn't really enjoy was the kind of final part, I guess. Not the final boss battle, but the final RTS portion of it.
I could not
That
remember.
one felt like a fucking mission. So, it was, what's his name? The giant dude dressed in red that all you saw was like his demon mouth, that he essentially had like a cathedral that you had to drive your car into off on the sides.
Nope.
Well, it was this big fuck off map of death that you had to make sure all of your stuff stayed alive, while on the sides there were like these two little kind of tunnels, I guess, that they led into a ramp, that there was a very small window for you to take your car, blast your shit through it, and then like pierce the monster or whatever the fuck it was.
Hmm.
But the phases of it were, you break the first part, and then obviously you had to go to the other one. But before you did that, it got so fucking difficult.
This is just a spike in difficulty just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I can't remember
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I don't
It,
remember.
it,
I
it
don't, I
was
don't
it
think I
was a
ever
good
beat
spike,
that game.
but it was a
So
little frustrating.
Say again, Danny.
I don't think I ever beat that game. I think I got like
Did
it was like I
I
went to
know?
Blockbuster, got like
I know I
halfway, and
bought
then
that game, but did you
yeah.
end up renting it for yourself? I can't remember.
I can't. Yeah, I think I rented it for myself. Yeah,
Mm.
I remember renting it. Just, I mean, it was a fun game. I liked it a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
It just wasn't a game that I was gonna put like rent it more than once, put hours and hours into it.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I did.
yeah. All right, so we can get Kevin back into the conversation here. We're gonna go on to the next article, which is an
We
actual
didn't even know if
article.
you played Brutal Legend. No,
Yeah,
never mind. Okay.
he said no.
Oh, well, I knew he didn't play Psychonauts.
Yeah. So, next article is Sony has opened up a patent for an AI technology to play games for you and study your gaming habits and like your styles of everything that you play, basically. This is to assist people during difficult parts of the game or when they need to step away from the game. Essentially, the game is playing by itself. So here's a quote from Game Informer article. The patent is for an automated artificial intelligence control mode specifically designed to perform certain tasks, including playing a game while the player is away. So keep in mind, patents aren't guaranteed so that it'll be made, but this was an interesting topic to talk about. So, Kevin, what do you think of this idea?
The gameplay in itself, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't
can
know.
you
I
find
have
yourself like, you're playing a game and you're finding it difficult to beat and you kind of just put it on auto mode and kind of just does everything for you?
no because I've been molded in the Dark Souls kitchen for so long that all I know is if I can't beat it now, I'm going to take 1,000 attempts and then eventually beat it once. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea, especially for people that like rage or whatever, so that it assists them. But I would say for most people, I doubt it. I don't think it's a great idea. More so with the it playing itself, that immediately turned me off. I was like, I don't want this. I'm gonna put my clothes on and I'm just gonna head out. Don't worry about the bill. I got it, but I'm out of here. But
Well,
I don't know.
what about you, Danny?
They have this already. I mean, they don't have exactly this, but they have tons of things like it. Like,
Like what?
they're bots. It's just another bot. How many times have you gone into a?
Is
For
this
guys
something
that
that you could
play
do for a
Final
game
Fantasy.
system though? Like I know you could do it for
So
PC.
you can't do it for game system. You do it for PC.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For PC, it's already kind of done. With a lot of like World of Warcraft, they have those bots. All of this is collect gold. Kills the same 3 months or whatever it is.
Yep.
Goes around in a circle, collects the gold, and does your farming for you. And that's kind of what this is. Doing the farming aspect of what I was doing in Outriders. It's just doing that farming thing while you're gone. I think it takes away from the game. I think it's only good for people who want to try to make money off of it. Or who want to make money off of the farming aspect. There's no real. I don't think there's any real good way to utilize this so that it's fair or useful for your average gamer. I think it's just like cheating for no reason to cheat. Like, why play a game if you're not going to play it?
Yeah.
And if it's too hard, then maybe you shouldn't be playing it, because there is no game that's too hard. Like Dark Souls is,
now.
but because there's ways to. If you just take your time and figure it out.
There are
Back
plenty
in
of
the
times I
day-
played a Dark Souls game and I'm having trouble with a boss. I wouldn't go to like an autopilot mode. I go to YouTube and try to get a strategy so I can still beat it myself.
Exactly, that would be the most, and they utilize that in the current systems, where you can check out common videos that are equal to what the scenes that you're trying to do now. PlayStation and Xbox both have that feature, so just use that. Like, I don't see,
Or
okay,
even or even use
Okay.
like a multiplayer, so like especially for Dark Souls, just get like help. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you always have the option. You're not stuck playing by yourself and like, I have to figure this out. And like you guys said earlier, YouTube, or like the way I used it was trial and error. If a strategy didn't work, I'll try something else. But
Yeah.
you were saying, Danny?
I mean, that's the whole point of playing games is that try to figure it out mode and to try to go on to the next level. And if you eliminate that and have somebody to figure out for you, then what's the point of playing it? You might as well just watching a movie. So I think the whole concept behind it probably would bomb.
That
Again,
was something that I want to say it was IGN or maybe it was Game Informer podcast that I was listening to, and they mentioned that point is that you might as well just watch a movie, because what makes video games and what makes them entertaining is that you make the choices, you make the actions, you do everything that leads up to the end of the game. So you're enjoying yourself along the ride, but as a movie you have no input. You're just watching passively, and then the movie ends and then you're done. So it's like, why would you want to play a game that you don't play? Randy, do you have anything to say about it?
Some old bullshit. That's what it is. Fucking okay. As we all know, I hate making things easier.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I wouldn't say making things easier, but babying things. That's what I detest.
Yeah.
Hold your hand.
If you could cut corners and actually still like enjoy yourself, that's fine. But if you have something, play the fucking game for you, and not just like monkey nut farming in RuneScape or whatever the case, but literally like you just fucking sit there and watch it. Because this also falls into the other patent that we were talking about before, the one that's supposed to like lower the difficulty for your video games or whatever the case.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Fuck that one too. What I did kind of enjoy about the title of the article was Sony files a patent for an AI that will play your games and judge you. And I hope that the judging is like really fucked up.
It's not going to
As
be
in,
some
like,
like
hey, you're a
bullying
bitch.
bullshit or
No,
something.
I know. What one could only hope.
The whole
But
concept was supposed to be, I guess, behind, if you read the article, was not just an AI playing for you. I think that was a part of the article that we took and reread that. We're like, oh shit, this is what everybody's gonna do. But the whole point is that Kevin loves fighting games, right? So if he's wants to train, wants to practice, you got this AI he is going to be able to set to whatever level that is beyond what the computer can do, because Kevin's already gone past computer and is only
you
fighting
could
real
do that
people.
yourself. That's the thing. You could set the difficulty yourself in either, like Tekken, for example. We're gonna go into fighting games. There's what, like up to 10 stars? No, you don't have to take a
Yes.
shot. There's 10 stars, right?
Fighters.
Okay.
Yes. You can put up
Okay.
to 10 stars, which is the hardest difficulty.
Yeah. So
Well,
at that
okay,
point, it's like you're fighting the creator himself. Like he's doing some fucked up shit. Even
No,
Harada had like trouble doing that.
no, but what I feel like with Danny's point is that you could literally like ghost because if I'm not mistaken, Samurai Showdown, you could do that. You can literally ghost one of the highest players and literally put them as an AI, as a computer, and you fight a player. You're not fighting like the computer
yeah,
itself.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
copy
if
and
you're
paste.
trying,
But
if
there
you're
we go.
trying
You
to
have the
train,
option to do that yourself, though.
but that's in
It,
that one game they have that,
Yeah,
but not in every game.
yeah.
So if you want to do fighters,
You have
whoever the
to.
champion is right now, they'll be able to copy that champion, whoever's the whatever fighter,
Mhm.
and you be able, okay, I can beat him now, and just keep practicing it and keep and again, there's just some people, like, honestly, like, for all honesty, if I didn't have Danny to play video games with, I wouldn't have anybody to play video games with. So I know
you
it's
have me.
sad, but but that's
I
how it
love you
is.
too,
So,
man.
but so there could be other people like way worse than me who don't have somebody to help them jump into Outriders real quick to help beat a boss. So maybe they might need that aspect. And if it's a computer that judges and talks shit with you, then that might be a little bit fun
So
in that
No, but
way.
here's the thing. The way that it's going is jumping puzzles, discovering hidden location, you name it. It's effectively, this robot will help you get good with those games that offer a challenge that might just be considered too much. Now, the only thing that I find this to be acceptable in is towards the end of this one sentence in particular. It says that it's a helpful tool when navigating the game space for those that have unique needs. Now, I know that there are people that play video games with disabilities, and that's totally fine. In helping them play video games, that's understandable, but I don't know. There has to be like a limit to having to baby shit like that. Because back then,
Hmm.
there was no multiplayer. Dark Souls didn't exist at the time. There were difficult games that you had to keep. If a brick walled your ass, you had to find a way to break that shit yourself, or you had a friend come over, or you went over to a friend's house, or whatever the case. Multiplayer wasn't always a thing. Like an online kind of, hey, jump in, help me out, we'll do this together.
Um.
The games now are a lot easier. There's no need to make them fucking easier.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you got to keep in mind one thing that we're not really. I don't know if we
Mentioning.
maybe I've just missed the point, but one thing that we're not talking about is, remember, this is artificial intelligence. So it's not necessarily the game playing for you in order to beat something. It's playing for you, acting like you. So it may not
But better.
still. It doesn't say
No,
that.
because
It
no,
says it
because if it's
says
supposed to help you get through certain parts, then yes, it will maintain your style. It
right.
will get through it. But yet, even you would have to be a visual learner to kind of understand that, if anything. Because some people, they could watch something and say, "Oh, okay, this person did this. They did this jump. They timed it this way. That's fine. I'll try to replicate that." Others don't have that ability. They don't understand that. Just okay, I'll look at this, whatever. If you see yourself play a game or something similar to the way that you play it, and it's still a little bit difficult for you, there's no progression there. At that point, that's when the game will have to play itself for you if you're too lazy to even fucking improve.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that it still has to maneuver its way around how much a person sucks and then try to get by it for you and everything like that. Has anyone kept in mind of the fact that like we're all adults here, and like our opinion, of course, about this is that you need to be an adult and kind of just play your own games and kind of complete them in your own way without the help of a fucking computer. But has anyone kept in mind that this could also just be veered more towards kids, and it's an option for kids, so that way they can beat that level of Super Mario or something?
That.
No, fuck them
No,
kids. Fuck them kids.
No,
They're gonna learn how to
that.
play these games themselves.
No,
Fuck that.
my daughter is the worst fucking winner in the world. I don't know where she gets it from. Right, Danny? I have no clue where she gets that cocky attitude on winner. I have no clue.
You're the biggest trash talker I've ever known.
Hell yeah. And my daughter's worse.
Weirdest thing. This one time,
so,
that's it.
But the whole point is that I want to teach her how to lose so she become better. And I think that is a good tool for all kids that should learn. You need to learn how to beat a game yourself, or how to overcome your obstacle.
You also know how to be. You also know how to be a good parent. Where a lot of people use video games as their babysitter. Like they'll just sit their children on a tablet or a television and just have them play games all day, and that's how they get distractions with the world. And that's all they do is play their games. So like you have the right mindset about that kind of stuff. Is that you're using it as a learning tool, where other people use it as a babysitter. And these kids end up getting frustrated. They end up getting anger management problems and breaking TVs and controllers and stuff like that because they can't beat a certain level. So all you got to do is turn on that switch, turn on the AI, and the game will play for you. And maybe they'll even make believe that they're playing the game, but they're not.
They'll pretend to plug in the controller.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. It's like plugging in that player too, but you're not really plugged in.
I did that for my brother. I was with my little brother all the time.
It works.
I mean, I'm just playing like a devil's advocate thing. I'm throwing in different ideas about it. Like I know for us, all of us don't agree with this.
No, and that's totally fine because it's all opinionated entirely. We're all gonna have like our view about it, whatever the case. But with old games, again, we are all adults here. You and Danny have obviously. I'm gonna call you Danielle if you want to call me Randall. How about that? All right. So you and Danielle over here. Clearly you've been playing for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
So you know how unforgiving games used to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was
the hardest game. You can't play it over here. Mega Man is Burn Commander.
Mega Man's amazing.
Commander. Fucking games are ridiculous compared to games nowadays.
Fucking, I was playing Mega Man on the Game Boy. What was it? Wrath of Wily? Fuck that game.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Really.
What was your point though? What was your point?
Anyways, there was this back to the point. There was this the zero punctuation thing I've spoken about. He also likes to like talk about how upset he is with the difficulty being lowered in the recent years of video games. One of the things that he said was that back then they basically like gave fanfare for fucking you up. So it would kind of like it would help you learn how to lose. It'd help you learn how to win, how to do it properly. And it would teach you how to better improve your skills at whatever the fuck game you're playing. You don't need your handheld. As a kid, there was not an AI to help you with this. If anything, you had some little fucking Navi ass thing like, hey, listen, you fucking suck.
Yeah. But you make a good point. That is where the slope becomes slippery, because you start assisting these kids or teenagers even with games that they're having trouble with, and not only are they not earning it, but they're not developing the skills to progress further in either that game or future games. So now you need other assistance, like other programs, other help, other types of ways. Like there are already so many resources right now in order for you to help you with a game. Why do we need the actual system to play the game for you?
Yo, even for League of Legends, you could pay somebody to play on your fucking account to increase your rank.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Destiny does the same thing.
I have
take a shot.
Fuck, shut up.
Yeah, you're right.
That was good.
He really dragged that out of you, Danny. That was so easy.
Fuck, you got me.
I already took my Kingdom Hearts shot, but I'll take another one for you.
Listen. So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. So especially for, like you guys said earlier, games that I would say heavy grinding. Like if there's like a Monster Hunter, let's say that they release on like the PS5 or the system that they're gonna release this thing on, it would make sense for it to play play it for you, because it's like, oh, I don't have like 30 hours or 15 hours to play. You literally let the game basically grind for you, and you just I don't know. No. I don't know how that works.
But that's part of the game.
It's part of the experience.
Some of these games.
No. But I'm saying
grinding in games, but I'm not gonna let a bot do it for me. I don't have
Hold up.
time to grind in games, but I'm not.
He's
gonna
gonna
stop
earn
it.
his monkey nuts. Fuck
No,
that.
of course. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My thing is like it's always about we all like some people have time like Danny, you have a family, Sober Guardian, you have a family. We can't play
Danielle.
Danielle.
Hold on
Danielle,
a
you have
second.
a
I gotta thank Amy Chibi for following us now.
Hey, thank for the follow.
Hey.
Go on with your thought.
Thank you,
So,
Amy
like,
TV.
thank you, Amy. Like not a lot of people have every
Yeah, we
every
take.
to play video games and all that stuff. So it's always I feel like it's I don't know. It seems good on I would say grinding, but I don't know about like playing a game for you. Like I would love that if you can have like an AI play like I'm gonna take my shot now, but like as a copy of yourself so that you play yourself in like a fighting game or something so you know like your weakness.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct is like that as well, but the AI for Killer Instinct is brutal.
Really?
No. But you could actually ghost yourself. I know this because when I played that before, I used to main Blaze. So I fought myself, and then I fought myself again to the point that I couldn't beat myself anymore because I was too aggressive.
But think about it. Like the AIs and that they're going to create versus what Killer Instinct, which is God knows how old, is saying it's a copy of. Like, can it really be like the linear technology really be a pure copy of how your gameplay was?
What it does is that it's like it takes what you normally use to
for
face
combos
yourself.
and stuff.
Yeah, whatever combos you do, it finds the optimal way to throw it into the fray as either like an offensive break against you or like when to block, and it reads you, so you read yourself, so you know what to do. Like if someone does a certain thing, if you're fucking yourself up, you should know when to block. Because your brain is going to click immediately and you're like, oh, okay, I do this a lot. If you could counter yourself, you're like, okay, if that's my weak point, then I'm going to try to fix that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think the AI can just take that to a whole level to be much more exact and really just get it in there. And so you can, that thought process, what you just had, really put that into detail with a lot of things. But I think the biggest negative with this AI thing is that for all the good it can do, the negative is always what people are going to see and what it's going to outweigh and what people are going to abuse. They're not going to use it for what it's good or what it's meant for or whatever it is. They're going to use it for what the worst that it can do, and they're going to abuse that and make money off of it or whatever it is.
You're saying that now. Amy Chibi's on the chat. She was saying, I think the games best suited to teach children important lessons are by default RPGs. So I'm trying to find out if she means that like if AI or just would the AI just work best for RPGs? Because I guess what you're saying is that there are some certain types of games or certain situations where this AI would benefit people.
Yeah, it could be you don't have a friend to help you. You don't have a friend to play with. You're looking for a multiplayer game where, like, I don't like people, right? You know this. So I would never.
You're antisocial as hell.
I hate people. So I would never play Destiny with a big group of people. So if I could just fucking do a raid by myself, I kind of would, because I want to see the raid. So if I can get 4 AIs that play like a real person, I might do that, just to try it out. But I still feel like I'm playing it myself. But again, I wouldn't use it to farm and do all that crazy stuff that I think is a main aspect of the game, because then what's the point?
Okay. I just don't think that this should even be a fucking thing.
Because it's that term. It's a slippery slope, because when does it get to a point where it just turns into a crutch?
It's already a fucking crutch. But the thing that it seems like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be able to play with you, but for you. It's you as a player, not an AI as a friend or as that second player or whatever the case.
Okay, wait, hold on. But Amy just said something that is. I'm looking at the message and I'm like, I feel like personally a RPG would be good, but then it depends on what kind, because like you could say there's certain RPG games, and like I'm gonna take another shot now, but there's certain fighting games that you can literally skip the goddamn story. I mean, skip the fighting and just focus on the story. So would you like the game to play up to like I wouldn't mind if it's like an assist system, like a tutorial to tell you like, oh, this attack is whatever, you know, like the basic RPG tutorial. But for the game to play itself for you is where it's like they're not gonna really understand like the system itself. Like even if you like throw a kid on
Yeah.
like parts or something like that. So it's more like you have the AI showing them how to play the game, but then you will still have to be there like to teach them the mechanics or everything about the game, which is always difficult.
The thing is
Oh,
the
wait,
thing
no,
is
no.
with
I think
that.
you're talking about like life lessons though, not in terms of
Oh,
Yeah,
not in terms of improvement over games.
I think
I
she's meaning, or she's meaning,
they
how
yeah.
they're meaning that uh that they're just going through the story and learning and appreciating the story of an RPG. And there are a lot of great RPG stories that are out there that you can play through.
yeah, like Kingdom Hearts.
Shut up. Take another
Take a
shot.
shot. But
Shoot him.
the
I'm
thing
gonna
is
drink that
that
shit right
like
now.
although I agree with that like they like kids should go through like a really good RPG rather than if they're not good with reading books, if they don't want to read a story or anything like that, they could go through a good RPG. But they're kind of missing out on not only the game mechanics aspect, like Kevin's is explaining, is like the fact that they're not learning how the game system works. And there's so many RPGs there with so many different game systems, styles of playing. There's strategy RPGs, there's
Xenoblade.
MMO RPGs, Xenoblade, like this. There's the action adventure RPGs. There's so many types of RPGs that they won't know how to play and appreciate and learn from, along with the story, if they
Yeah, because
continue with the
technically,
AI.
like Skyrim, that's an RPG, but it's to me personally, it's a very bare bones 2D RPG where it's just you kind of go on into the
Sorry,
world
what
and you
was
fuck
it
around,
again?
do whatever. Skyrim,
Okay.
like any Elder Scrolls, it's yes, there's a story, but are you really playing it for the story?
No.
No.
Me,
There's no
no.
deep fucking meaning in Skyrim. You're gonna Fusro dot somebody off of that fucking ledge, and that's it.
What about Fallout?
There's not much of a story in that either. Like, yes, there
I
is.
like
No,
the
no,
Fallout story.
there is
I
a
like
story definitely, but in terms of main story, I find it to be kind of crap. But when it comes to like the audio logs or like the little reading files, that the world building stuff, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
But
I
But
then
think
like
but aside from that,
JRPGs
you're
have
naming
actual
naming
stories.
like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like JRPGs are a lot more detailed when it comes to
Oh no no
stories,
no
or
no no.
more
Yeah,
deep into
that's
stories.
what I was going into. As in
Yeah.
like RPGs is a very kind of broad genre because again, Skyrim, Morrowind, fucking Fallout, those do count as RPGs because it's a role playing game. But then you have other stuff like Bravely
I
Default
agree.
that has a massive story to it, and it plays nothing like the other ones.
Amy's got a point. Just wanted to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would honestly like I know this is gonna sound weird, but for like a game like not everybody's played it, but Final Fantasy, like I would say
Which one?
shut up. I would say more so the older ones because I feel like some of them have story like having AI that like reads the mechanic to you or something like that, like for kids that have difficulty reading or adults that have difficulty reading. I'm one of them. I'm dyslexic, so reading
Yeah.
is not a strong suit.
Oh yeah, no, text to speech
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, text to speech would be amazing. Like Final Fantasy, I would say for not saying because I want it, I would say like Final Fantasy VII would be a great game to be like that because it has such a very vast and interesting story, and you can sit there and literally listen to the story and then be like, oh, this time's it's like oh the AI got into a fight, and then it's like you fight with the AI, not like the AI fights for you. You know what I mean? Like it's like oh this move is bad against this type of
See,
enemy.
I like that. I like that
But
idea.
but the whole point of even when you're first playing those games as a kid or whatever it is learning those mechanics is part of problem solving. Figuring out that fire and water, whatever the opposite, whatever, as a kid is still part of problem solving and still part of beating the game. And you want to try to have your kid learn those simple mechanics, learn how to progress in this game, how to figure out how to win properly,
But
and keep going.
but
You
would
also-
you be okay with the game at least saying every now and then or a couple of times you can be like, hey, that doesn't work. Why don't you try this instead?
Actually,
and that way
hold
the
on.
kid will still learn.
I
No,
have
because
I have
because
something
that's the
in thing for
original
both of you
crutch
guys.
But that's the original question that Randall was talking about.
Fucking Daniel.
How the games are becoming too easy for them, for you nowadays, for no reason, where they had no problem back in the day being extremely hard and you trying to figure it out and overcome this, because you will.
Yeah.
If you're regardless if the kid is playing Mega Man or they're playing fucking Fortnite, they're gonna figure out the mechanic and they're gonna end up beating it at the end of the day. So you don't have to dumb it down. You don't have to simplify it, because they will figure it out, and that is part of them being able to progress themselves. So if you take it, and the more you dumb it down, the dumber they will be, because it's been dumbed down.
Definitely, because what you were saying in terms of like fire and water, whatever. Pokemon is the best example on that. The type chart as children, we didn't know what the fuck that was. If it was super effective, you had to use common sense. Psychic type is weak to dark, ghost, and what the fuck is the other one?
Fairy.
No, Psychic isn't weak to fairy. Psychic is weak to bug. No, because you're afraid. It's common fears.
Aside from the learning,
here's the thing. No. Because again, it goes with both of you guys. So yes, common sense in that. And then the game going every now and again, hey, try this. The new Pokemon games, as much as I fucking detest them, there are moves that if you already encountered the Pokemon before and you have a Pokemon that has a certain move that's super effective, it will tell you super effective or not very effective. It doesn't outright say like, hey, you use only this. But it's like, hey, if you want to switch your Pokemon and there's something there, this one is super effective. That might be your favorite Pokemon over there, but this one could use moves that are strong against that one.
And I'll tell you,
you know what I mean?
My favorite Pokemon in the new season is it's an accordion bug. Just wanted to let you know that.
But my point is that a kid, if you took a kid, I got 2 kids. If you took my son and you had him only play the new Pokemon games, and you have my daughter and you had to play the older Pokemon games, my daughter would be much more inclined to be able to progress in a harder game than my son will, because they went 2 different paths, but one person got dumbed down and the other person was taught the hard lessons to try to figure it out and learn themselves. And that's the problem with games nowadays, and we all know this. We've gotten so used to playing these games that are easier, that if we go back and we play a Mega Man game or games like that we talked about, they become hard as fuck for us.
But it's a bit easier afterwards, though.
Because you learned. Like, I'm still saying it's not. I'm not saying it's forgiving now. Like, it's still a hard game because you got no checkpoints, no save points, and whatever it may be. But you can play the game a lot better than you would as when you were a child.
Yeah. When I was a child, the hardest game that I ever played, and I recently beat it, and I told Jay and Randy about it, was Urban Range. And Urban Range is like a beat 'em up, but the AI, the harder the more levels you go, the difficult the AI becomes. And it's
that was PS2 difficulty.
And it's default normal. So I was getting my ass kicked by a normal computer. So like I understood that normal on like older gens was like hard, and then nowadays like normal is like easy, and then hard is like normal, and then hard, very hard is like hard. You know what I mean?
So definitely. Hold on a second, guys.
Because even then, like the Persona games, Shin Megami Tensei from back then, like Nocturne hard is fucking
Unforgiving.
Dude.
Yeah.
Galaxy Brain, Persona 5 hard.
Hold on, guys. So Amy Chibi, she was saying something that's a good point that we should consider. Like with the old generation, we didn't have any issues growing up. We were alone with the games. No online to share opinions to see what others are complaining. It was just you and the game, and you learned that was it. So like nowadays, people have the internet as a platform to kind of complain about these things. So I guess where she's kind of going with this is just that the companies now are kind of like hearing about like the complaints about how difficult some games are, so they're just trying to cater to them, which I disagree with. They shouldn't be catering to them just because they're complaining about this stuff. Like they should be just pushing for just more games and just focusing on that in general and being able to play the games.
Yeah, because if you were going to say catering, I was going to take it as a fact of buffs and nerfs is something that's like
that's the thing too. All right, look, I'm doing this again. I'm taking a shot right now. Hold on,
let me take one because I'm about to talk about my favorite.
Because Destiny does this a lot. I'm telling you, every fucking week, there's always like these nerfs that I don't agree with, these buffs I don't agree with, and it's usually because the community is bitching and complaining about something. So Bungie is just like, oh, all right, we got these people complaining about it. Maybe we should do something, and then they nerf like the best fucking weapon in the game, or like the best class in the game, or something like that, just because people are complaining about it.
Can I explain something though in terms of that? Um,
Yeah.
all right. So I I agree, but I don't agree with what they said in terms of like there was no way to see what others are complaining about. Now, back then, like PS2 era, probably late PS1, game facts. Remember?
Yeah,
You were lost? Yo, game facts right away. We had that shit. We had our walkthroughs. What we didn't have was videos. We didn't have all these YouTubers showing us all the shit. No problem. Back then, once a game was released, there was no patching it. What you got was what you got. You were either happy with it or you fucking won't.
Yep.
Now that everyone's bitching and everything is online, everyone can patch a little fix into it. Either a little fix, a major fix, or just something. Nobody's going to be happy anymore. Right?
True, especially
The
because the
only
internet
thing-
lets everybody's voice out there.
Exactly. What, dude, a single player fucking game, Ghost of Tsushima, that got patched. A single player game.
Let me break.
How the
Were you
fuck is
were
that
you too
okay?
OP or something?
No, okay. So they added the realism mode where it's like you hit harder, your opponents hit
Oh,
harder.
right,
That's
right,
fine,
right.
no problem. That's okay. No. I don't care about them adding difficulty. I enjoyed it in a sense because I thought it was gonna be harder. It made it a lot easier. Big fucking whoop. What I didn't like was the fact that they actually did tweak some of the damage output for the other difficulties. So they made easier, and harder easier because it was too fucking hard. Like what type of bullshit is that? A single fucking
It's
player
funny
game.
you saying that
people are
right now. It's
complaining about.
perfect timing.
Hold
Amy
on.
Chibi's just said right now, like when that game journalist was playing Cuphead and spent 20 minutes in the tutorial because he did not know how to jump and dash.
Exactly. And that's his own fucking problem. No, that's his own fucking problem.
I remember that video.
I watched so many parodies of that video, and I was like, "How are you a gaming journalist and you don't know
Have
how
you
to?"
seen
Yeah.
the comparison video of this dude's like 7-year-old getting past the tutorial while the other guy was like
Yes.
the journalist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Come on. Like there's sheer ineptitude and then there's I don't know. Because even what was it? For IGN also, the SpongeBob game, the one that came out, Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, rehydrate
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, they were like, when SpongeBob uses the bowling move, he moves forward, and you have to step on this button, so it proves a little too difficult. So what the fuck should you do? Maybe roll a little before the button, so you step on it once you release. Common fucking sense.
Can I say something? You know, there's in that game there's a glitch called I believe it's bowling ball. If you throw it and use the momentum that he uses, he can launch forward. And it like the way that speedrunners use, I'd say it's more so the older game. When speedrunners use it, they literally launch across the fucking screen. So just want to throw that out there. Yeah, I watch speedruns of this, and I always find it hilarious when I see that.
But dude, there wasn't going to be a fucking Cuphead patch, but nowadays there's going to be a patch for fucking everything.
Yeah. Just because
Online
people say they need
games,
one.
single player games. If there's a complaint of like, oh, I couldn't get past this fucking ledge, they're going to make it shorter, just for those that want to fucking cry about it.
Just
Okay.
becomes this.
We're gonna leave it there because we're getting really riled up on this, and rightfully so.
I'm
Rightfully so.
getting really riled up.
Listen, I'm
rightfully
calling
so
it.
on it, but I'm
I'm
gonna leave it at that. Like we all
Let me-
don't
can I-
agree
can I-
with it. Go ahead.
Can I
Kevin.
just say one point? Okay, I'm calling this right now. If they make a easier version of Metal Slug, I'm gonna commit wrong crimes because I can't have that game be any easy. Cuphead for me was like
Yeah.
a breath of fresh air
I
because
think if anything, just leave it as an option. It shouldn't be something that's mandatory, and just kind of just leave it at that. Let them
But
be in their own.
I think
world,
because,
whatever
like you
that
said,
might
it's
be.
gonna be. I think that at the end of the day, AI is not gonna be a brand new feature in every single game. I think it could be added into a game
Mhm.
as a feature for, let's say, in fighting games. You need it, and like we talked about, it's only going to be
As a
added
tool.
in the next DB as a tool in the DBZ game. That's
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
And
But the
and
thing is
every
that that's
game
not
could
gonna be
be
it.
different because the AI,
Yeah.
because it's going to be a program in the AI, just like any other software that we have that there are for games. Every game has certain software that has been developed for the game, whether it be Polygon, whatever it is. this is going to be the same aspect. In this game, it's going to have an AI feature that can help you do A, B, and C. You can play a bunch of people, or you can play with nobody. Or the next game is going to be the AI feature, same exact AI feature that it has, but it's only going to allow you to play to fight against somebody else. Or the next AI feature is allow you to talk and text RPG games, but only it could be they can turn it and make it whatever they want for whatever game that they're making it for. You get it?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I think
I
that's how
do
it's going to
kind of
end
get
up being.
that. But
Yeah.
here's
Hold
what
on,
I
hold on,
see.
hold on, hold on.
Okay,
No,
what?
I'm gonna cut you guys off because we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Yeah, that was the last note on it because I'm gonna get Danny on his next thought on this next article here because we're gonna move to something that he sent to me that he wanted to talk about. Was the developers Aspire Media? They reported on working on creating the remake of the KOTOR game, Knights of the Old Republic game, that was made by BioWare back in 2003. So that's simple. That was pretty much all I wanted to mention. Actually, no bullshit. Sorry. There's rumors actually that the game is going to have major changes to the gameplay, such as doing away with like the turn-based combat. Hold on a second. There is an article on Gamerant that says, according to Mr. Matty Plays information, the Star Wars Knights of the Republic remake is going to be doing away with the real-time turn-based combat combination of the original game to be more of an action RPG. So if anybody's wondering, Mr. Matty Plays, by the way, is like he's a YouTuber that originally leaked the rumors that the remake was going to happen. So now that it is going to happen, he might be right about this as well. Who knows? But Danny, what are your thoughts on the game, past, present, future, whatever the fuck you want to say about it? What are your thoughts?
I think it's one of those things where it's like Knights of the Old Republic was a great game. A lot of people like that and compare a lot of the Star Wars games that come out, but damn, I wish it was as good as Knights of the Republic. And even the sequel that they came out with wasn't really that great.
Yeah.
And people hated it and they compared it, but oh man, the first one was just so much better. So I think it's a game that deserves a remake because people liked it so much. And if you can do it right, it's one of those things where this is where remakes can come in handy because everybody's clamoring for remakes. Everybody loves a remake right now. Everybody wants to remake the world. But you have to be able to do them right, and you can't just pick any fucking game. You have to pick a game that was great. You can't really do sequels of it because it just won't lead up to your expectations. So maybe we have to start over from ground zero. And I thought this was a great idea, turning it from the turn based into more of an action is a great idea. Like the whole concept of the original Knights of the Republic is you be able to choose your light and dark and really feel like you've made a decision towards the whole game can be expanded upon so much. And especially nowadays where you can have 13 different storylines going on and try to figure them out.
Do you think
Based
that
off your
they'll do
decisions.
something similar? Because I get why they would change the system, and it makes sense. I'm not against it at all because the generation, everything is new. People have different interests. But do you think they'll do something more similar to what the Final Fantasy 7 remake did?
What do you mean?
Just more of that action RPG, like the way they did it, whereas like you're actually pressing square and he slashes, and you can kind of still go to a menu, Kingdom Hearts style in a sense as well. You know
I
what
mean, they did that to try to evolve the RPG because the whole turn-based RPG is kind of the DS Persona did it really well, but the JRPG thing is not the big money maker as it used to be.
Yeah.
People aren't clamoring to play a JRPG right now.
Yeah.
So you have to do something to make it more interesting. And Knights of the Republic kind of did play like a classic turn-based RPG.
It's more of a Western game anyways.
Yeah. So you have to find that way of bringing it into a new market and bringing it to the people who like more of an action-based type thing. And it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But still sneak in all that RPG elements that it did have,
Randy, what do you think?
I mean, I didn't really play it that much. I'm excited because I think this would kind of make me play it. I don't know. I know that it's like a really good game. Everyone harps on about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious to what the changes will bring, if any.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Kevin.
I mean, I don't have much of an opinion on it because again, I didn't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it.
So if anything, this would be my introduction to the whole Old Republic thing
So,
because I didn't even play the Old Republic.
so the fact that they're you did. Yeah. So the fact that they're changing it up to kind of like modernize it better, you'd be more inclined to play the game.
I guess because it would now be more available. I guess, but
Yeah.
no, I would play it now, and I'd play it from back then as well to maybe have like
Okay.
a comparison for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, Kevin.
Again, another game I didn't play. I actually haven't. The funny thing is, I have it downloaded, so I don't even know why I haven't played it yet.
Are we that old that like?
No, it's not that you
No,
guys. It's not that you guys are that old. It's just like my recently my my interest in genre and games has just like recently opened. So I'm downloading games I'm interested in. That's definitely on the list. Actually, yeah, I do have it downloaded, and I'm gonna play it. I'm actually interested that they're changing the mechanics because I feel like a lot of remakes or remasters, whatever. Well, remake of a game, it always changes something from the original, and it's sometimes better, or I wouldn't say better, but it's sometimes different than the original. I don't know. It might be.
That's the.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point of doing a remake. You can't just if you use the same mechanic and you have almost everything the same. It's called remaster. That's not remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have that's the whole point in changing the mechanics on it. That's why they're calling it a remake. You have to change it up. You have to bring it to a new age. You have to bring it to the nowadays, and give it that full fucking Final Fantasy remake, 7 remake feel.
Yeah. Turn-based RPGs nowadays don't hold people's attention because it's turn-based. Like,
And then-
you have to have
and-
that action in there.
You have to have the. I wouldn't say just the action. You'll just have to have the name as well. Like you'll have to be built on being a turn-based RPG, like Disgaea or
Yeah.
fucking Final Fantasy like 7 Classic. Like it has to have a name to hold up as that. Like the only one that I got away with that.
It's called 7 Classic now. What the fuck?
Yeah, because it's classic. You can't say.
Well,
And
that's
just say 7R.
that's what I appreciated about the Final Fantasy VII remake was that they still added an option to just quote unquote change it to a classic turn-based system. Like you were able to still pause the game and kind of select things and kind of I don't know, like kind of take turns in a sense.
Did they get snowball hands?
What?
Did they get the snowball hands?
What does that mean?
Do they have like
The
snowball
whole
hand?
animation.
The whole animation of having snowball hands?
The way they looked with the block hands and shit.
No, man.
No, that's for mobile. That's for mobile.
Yeah.
Mobile?
They are gonna do that. But I think that the RPG is when most people think of RPGs nowadays, they think of Fallout, Elder Scrolls, things like that.
Destiny.
But back in our Destiny, yeah, exactly. Outriders, that's what they think of RPGs right now because that's what's being pounded into people's heads.
Makes sense.
We're from our older generation, so when especially me, because that's my favorite genre, is RPG.
Yeah.
So
We
when
need
I
to talk.
say
We need to talk.
when I say I want to play an RPG game, I want to play Chrono Trigger. I want to play Final Fantasy Classic. I want to play games like that. I don't want to play if you say okay, here's an RPG and you highlight it. I'm like, that's not really an RPG, but I get why you're calling it that, but it's not really.
Yeah. I actually I remember like Danny hit me up one time. He was telling me I've been dying to play like some JRPG, but I don't know what to play. And then eventually I jumped on Persona 5. And I was like, yo, you need to play this. And then me and him were playing this at the same time, and that was kind of
the one that really scratched my itch, 100% scratched my itch, Yakuza.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like a Dragon? Yeah.
Yakuza Like a Dragon was hands down the RPG game that I wanted. It wasn't the Japanese RPG. Is what the Japanese aspect is not what I was looking for. It was the RPG aspect is what I was missing.
The turn-based combat.
The turn-based combat done right, where you want to get new moves, you want to get new stuff, you figure it, and it was done perfect from beginning to end. That was a great game.
Got it. I haven't played it.
You
I've
have
been,
all.
I,
If you
I've
like,
been,
if anybody who likes RPG games has to play the Yakuza game. I
Okay.
guarantee you fucking love that.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll just leave it at that then. Yeah, I'm still excited for the game. I'm an old fan. I played it. To the topic or opinion in general. Oh, both. Of course, at both as well.
Oh, wait, actually, no, I had something to your thing about
Yeah,
like,
go
are
ahead.
you guys just old? No, you guys aren't just old. There's more to it aside from your age.
What do you mean?
But when these games were out at the time, I didn't exactly have, hey, I want an Xbox. Give me an Xbox. Kind of, bratty behavior that most of the kids have nowadays.
hmm
So if I wanted something, I would generally have to like wait for it or like cross my fingers and be like, yo, maybe I'll get it. You know what I mean?
I guess that's true because yeah, me and Danny were working fairly early on our lives, and we pretty much just spent all of our money on video games and game systems.
Hold
That's
on.
fine.
Amy,
Because like what? When
no.
did KOTOR come
Amy,
out? KOTOR
no.
came out in
No more
But
judgment.
2003.
at the same time, we didn't have a lot of money growing up before we started working. It's just we utilized Blockbuster. Honestly, I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
it
we
was
worked for
she answers the
Blockbuster.
community
Yeah,
question.
that was another.
I
That
mean,
was
even
another.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
she
about
did.
even before we started working there. I mean, we played all our games through. We never actually bought any games. I mean, maybe for a birthday we would get a game, but every time we played a game, because me or you would rent the game, and we would take turns, literally spending the $5 because we didn't have the money, and it would be either you or me to rent the game that weekend, play it, and then we have to return it. So, and that's the only way where we played tons and tons of games because we were
Yeah.
able to utilize that. And then later on, when the Xbox system came out, there was modding and stuff like that. We did utilize, well, I did utilize a lot of the modded Xbox to play every game I wanted. And we found ways of downloading and getting games because we couldn't really afford them, you know?
Yeah, and it was just
Yeah, no,
easier too
and
because we
that's
got a lot of
fine. I
free
get it.
rentals.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And then
'cause
later
even
on,
then,
that became that we started working there.
Yeah,
No, but what does play into it as well is that, like, again, asking for a game or whatever. At the time when KOTOR came out, I was 6, so
Yeah, yeah.
that wasn't exactly a game that grabbed my attention as a child. Like a 6-year-old wanting to play fucking Knights of the Old Republic. No, I played fucking.
What year did it come out?
I was born in
2000
'97, dude.
That
it was
no,
2003.
What was I? What?
What?
17, 18, 19. I was
9.
maybe no, you're not 9, dude. You're only a few months older than me.
Oh, fuck,
I
wait,
was
you said-
17, I think, in
you said
2000. So it came out 2003.
Oh fuck! I'm like.
So I was
10 years
maybe
old.
20 years old.
Yeah, 19, 20.
Wait, how old are you right now? You're not like 37.
We're both 37.
You're 30. What?
Wait, what? I thought. Wait, who's what?
I swore you were like 32, 33, like my
No,
brother's
dude.
fucking age.
No, dude.
Holy
I am
shit.
pushing more 40 than I am 30.
Holy
me
shit!
too.
I need to reevaluate.
Well, anyways, to put that in perspective, you guys were working. I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
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 So with
Exactly.
that, it's like I wasn't thinking, hey, KOTOR is a game that I want to play.
And that's what
at
I'm
such an
saying,
age.
that we're old.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's because of our age is the reason why
And-
we have more to
and
talk
that-
about with these games.
That's also why I said that's not the only factor. You fucking fossils. No, but
I didn't realize you kids were so young.
yeah.
no,
I mean,
but
Kevin's
like
a
at
little
the
bit
time I
older.
was. Yeah, Kevin's
I'm only
older by, like,
11
2
years.
years.
11 years older than me. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm 26.
No.
Yeah.
I'm the baby here at 24.
I'm a
Oh
baby.
god.
Yeah, it's all
No
good.
wonder
It's all
you
good.
know how to use Twitch.
We're a well-rounded crowd.
To be fair, I have played my fair share of games, even from like
Of course.
the past.
Mhm.
No, I mean that's also the reason why I wanted you to join us in this podcast, because I know you're a real gamer. Like you played a lot of shit. So Kevin, you
What?
too.
I'm about to get up and walk out.
I felt the offense for him.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna end that article there about I'm sorry, not BioWare, but the KOTOR game. I'm not taking a shot at this because this counts as part of the article. So
Fine.
Destiny 2, they have
Well, it
announced.
seems like a shot for picking the article.
Right? Yeah. Destiny 2 has announced finally that they're having a transmog system in order to like further customize your character equipment, but a lot of people aren't happy with how many hoops you need to jump through in order to attain the ability to change like even like one piece of armor. I'm going to run through like what you need to do. You need to
Yeah, I
earn
was trying to read the article. It was just so much shit. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
So you need to earn Sin Strand doing bounties, like events, killing enemies, whatever, just a lot of random stuff. And then you convert them to synth cord. And then
It's
you convert,
150 of them,
yeah,
right?
150 of them, 150 pieces. Who knows how many we get, like in an event or whatever it may be. But the fact that you have to convert from synth strand to synth cord and then to synth weave, you have to convert 3 fucking currencies. Additionally, you are capped a certain amount of transmogging allowed per season, which usually each season lasts about 3 to 4 months. So you're allowed to transmog one piece of armor per month.
Okay.
This is grinding in a whole new level, and it
Hold on.
kind of adds like this ridiculous amount of like the currency items already that are in the game are ridiculous. You guys have no idea because I know you guys don't play the game as much as me and Danny do.
I don't even play it at all.
Yeah, so one more sad part about this is the inclusion of buying synthweave with real currency. So you can buy silver currency in the game, you know, with real money and buy more transmog currency. Apparently, it's the only way to attain more than the the cap amount of transmog that you're allowed to do per month. So it's fucking ridiculous. Like I I I don't know where to start with this, like how ridiculous the
So
microtransactions
basically,
are.
so basically, it was their way of creating a microtransaction, but going, okay, you're gonna be pissed if we make this new transmogging that people have been asking for, the most simplest of fucking things since they introduced it. Because this is not a first time. This is like almost like a reintroduce because they did this already. They did this transmogging type aspect where they told you can fucking do it.
I'm looking at Kevin's
Yeah, I see
picture.
it. Yeah, they
Go ahead.
introduced it before, and they said, okay, you're gonna be able to transmog and use some of you, but instead they only did it for sets. So you can only do it for sets of armor.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever is limited. Fine. Then they said, now they're saying you guys asked for more. You guys wanted every single piece of everything you ever wanted. We're gonna give it to you, but instead of giving it to you, they did it as a microtransaction. But they knew they'd be pissed, so they said, you know what? We're gonna give you a way to do it without having to pay for it, but you're gonna have to put your work into it. So much work where chances are good you're gonna go, oh, I'm not doing all that work, and I'm just gonna pay for it anyway. So I think we
That's
need to
exactly what
boycott
Amy
this.
Chibi just said right now. Yeah,
I
that's the
think we
exact
need
same
to.
thing.
I think we need to boycott fucking this game, and it's one of the main reasons why I stopped playing Destiny. I don't like Destiny anymore because I love Destiny. Destiny was a great game until they got bought out by 19 fucking different companies. They are only looking for ways to figure out how to get money instead of figuring out ways to try to make the consumer happy. You know, we talked about Outriders, how Outriders talk said how when they do their DLC, they want to take advice from Diablo and Diablo 2 and 3, where they want to introduce every single expansion is going to be a large expansion with worlds and a whole new world, a whole new stuff, and brand new characters types. Destiny has the ability to do that, but they
Yeah.
choose
Yeah.
not to, and they choose to seem like the only thing they want to focus on is how to get more money from you. Because every expansion or season, they don't add anything. They add one or two things, which is probably just a few clicks of their fucking button. It's the same exact thing
Well,
they add every year. They
that's a different thing because I'm always willing to defend Bungie, but I'm also always willing to admit when they do stupid decisions. The reason why they do a lot of these small seasons with only very little content is because they have a very small group. Remember, keep in mind also that they they split off from Activision, so they don't have the two other studios at hand that Activision provided to them in order to make these grand, bigger contents. So like they're kind of limited when it comes to the things that they're able to do.
But the money that's coming in from all these tons of microtransactions that are coming in are as big as any big company game that had a huge studio behind them. And if they wanted to, they could create more content, and they choose not to. They choose just to keep creating more ways of just creating more money for them instead of just putting out good games. Like, I almost feel like they almost given up on Destiny 2 just so they can make a new one.
Oh, they're already working on their new game. They've already announced a couple of times how they have a separate studio right now. Still Bungie, but they have another portion of their studio. They're working on a game called Matter, and it's supposed to be another multiplayer game. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be an MMORPG, something similar to Destiny, but they're working on the game right now. So their biggest focus is on that.
You can kind of feel it. The games got reintroduced with the stasis system almost a year and a half or a year ago now.
Yeah.
And nothing has been added since. And then before that, it was like every expansion that they've come out, a little bit of story, decent lore, whatever it is, but then that's it. And that's all it is. And the game is just, at some point, it just needs to die out, because even the games like Final Fantasy, to this day, if there's a brand new expansion, there's way more content that you can do in those Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy MMO on 14 or whatever it is online. There's way more stuff that comes out in those expansions that are worth your money, worth your time, and worth the grind, versus this game that there's nothing that you can grind for. It's worth it. There are no new weapons at all to grind for. There are no new armor sets to grind for. There's nothing to grind for, so there is no point in playing these games anymore.
Randy and Kevin, I know you guys don't really play the game like me and Danny do, because I'll play about once a week. Danny will play
Blizzard
maybe
did it right.
every couple of weeks or so. But what do you guys think?
No, not even that anymore.
Yeah,
but Blizzard did it a lot better for transmog and shit, because it's
at
least
definitely, and they created it.
Yeah, of course. And what is it? Fucking, they could have easily made it like, pay for your character's appearance to be different or whatever. And for a minute, it was kind of limited because you had to keep it in your bag, so like took up inventory space, and you wanted to like change that shit. I didn't really use the vault that much, but then they actually added like certain transmog houses, I guess, in the major cities, so that they had this kind of, what was it? It's like a portal vault, if anything, where it's specifically for items that, like, if you go to transmog, they're already sorted and separated for like whatever the fuck it is that you want. But the best part about it was that it used in-game currency, like just your standard fucking gold that you got off of raids or dungeons or whatever the case. It wasn't
astronomical, and it wasn't astronomical either.
Yeah, no, it would just be like, hey, for 3 fucking gold, your hat looks different now.
Yeah,
and 3 gold was nothing once you already fucking reached like the end game content.
Yeah.
It was
just a mage. I made
the transmogging was just supposed to be an extra thing to make you look cool, because you used to like the old set, and
because it was for fun.
It was already considered in the game. This transmogging for Destiny is more of an afterthought because the community wanted it. So now they're trying to be like, okay, how can we pull some money from these people, and then we could bring some transmog and make it work. So we could
because transmog wasn't in the game until the end of like Cataclysm, I think. No.
Yeah.
Yes. No. So it took a while, because
that was the last one I played.
BC for Wrath that didn't have transmog at all.
No.
Because when I started, transmog wasn't a thing. I remember making jokes about like in the guild, like, oh hey, we should be able to.
I thought they had that like by Pandera, was it?
No, it was.
It was the end of
the Cataclysm was the last one that I played, and that's when they added it during that one.
Okay. Yeah, and again, it was a pretty limited kind of thing, because you had to go to like a very specific spot and like talk to this one person, and it wasn't until later on that they actually added a transmog house. Like void storage or whatever the fuck it's called.
Kevin,
but they're
sorry, Kevin, what was your opinion about all that?
Nah, I agree. Like, if if you're only able to transmog, especially like I don't know if you guys see me play an RPG game. My character's colors never look the same. I always change them. If I have to wait a month to change my colors, we don't have to shoot the 30. I'm sorry, or shoot the 30 means fight. We're gonna have to fight because I need my colors to be changed at least once in the
He's like, everyone here is really white. Like that real quick.
Let me be orange. Like I don't know. That's a sucky system to be like you have to wait an entire month to change your character's color. Like just give it, just make it an in-game currency thing. Like doesn't
something readily available.
The problem with the Destiny currency is that there's already too many as it is. So for them to introduce more of them is kind of like cumbersome. So,
No. Like okay, what's the main currency? What's like your standard fucking thing?
There's Glimmer, which is the dollars, basically.
Okay, so basically make it Glimmer, but just like a really high price because chances are,
and they did that.
They already have a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. And in the original D1 and then in D2 in the beginning, Glimmer, when you wanted to change the color of your ship or whatever it was, it just cost Glimmer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that's how and they took that away and they made it free, which okay, that was cool. Now you can do it whenever you want. It just takes up the shader. It takes up the shade itself, so you have to try to recreate, regather, farm the shaders again. But it was basic, and then people liked it, and it was just a function. It had nothing to do with the game.
Why couldn't you just stick with Glimmer, with Destiny? Like
that's what I'm saying. It should have just stuck. It should have just stuck with a transmogging because transmogging has nothing to do with the game. You're not progressing. It's not making you progress. It's not making you go farther.
It's not
any kind of play to win. It's not stat changing. Mm-hmm. So what's the point? The only point is so that you can look a little cooler next time you play because you're bored of where you look right now.
And the sad thing about it that you guys don't know is that the Glimmer, there's a Glimmer cap at 250,000. So the fact that there's a Glimmer cap for no reason whatsoever, like you can't even grind to get more Glimmer. Like you would think if anything, like a Glimmer cap would be 999, but it's not even that. So I would think all you had to do is raise the Glimmer cap cap to that, and then just
Glimmer clap that ass,
and then be able to just use Glimmer in order to do whatever the fuck you wanted.
Or if anything, just like make it a quest to increase your fucking cap. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah, like that makes sense too.
Like collect all these, golden Skulltulas, and then you get a bigger fucking rupee pouch.
Or make it I would say it would be fun to make it a raid.
You appreciated that one.
I like that one.
Or make it a raid because it's aren't raids fun in Destiny if I'm not mistaken. Those are sometimes every time I hear about Destiny I hear mainly about the raids and how much of a staple they are. But make it something that you
were and that's another thing is that that was the staple. That was what was fun about this. Those raids were super hard, super challenging, and now they put out a new raid and it's okay, it's beating it back. Mm-hmm. And when they first came out, it would take them days just to figure out a boss, and then finally get it posted. And then that's a big aspect of what the game is missing, is Destiny's so focused on how can we make more money from you that they've gone away from what made Destiny great. And I think, to me, the game just needs to die out because it is a very boring game now. There's nothing new about it.
I mean, I'm gonna admit, for anybody listening, that's where I get my name from. The Drunken Guardian is because I'm obsessed with the game. I love the game very much. It was a big part of my life for the past almost 5 years, I guess. What? How long was it? 7 years? 7 years. God. So it's changed so much, and it's actually changing for the worse. Like Amy Chibia said, if you look at the game now compared to back then, if we were to talk to the people that we were back then, we wouldn't understand or comprehend how bad the game has gotten because they're so worried about just pulling as much money as they can from you and not focusing on what we really want in the game.
To have fun, which is the point of a game.
Or no Glimmer cap.
Or no Glimmer cap.
Or no Glimmer cap.
Because they have
so much. So many things.
They started. They had promise. They always show promise. They started introducing dungeons with like mini raids. Oh, cool! They're gonna do, and then they did one, and then okay, we're gonna do one more, and then okay, but then nobody cares. It's like they had so much promise to try to help and make the game great, but
Well,
they just don't care.
the thing is with Destiny, I don't think it's not that they don't care. I think the problem is with Destiny is that it's treated very much as just an experiment, and it's always been an experiment since day one. Like before the game came out, they had announced, they had a 10-year plan for this game, for this franchise anyways. And they were saying that it's an experiment, towards the MMO genre with like a first person shooter and all this stuff. And it kind of seems like they're still experimenting. They're still kind of just like, all right, let's try this. All right, that doesn't work. Let's try that. Okay, let's fuck with this. And then, let's change this up and do that. And they've been doing this so much that I myself, and I guess Danny as well, is kind of tired of it. So it's just kind of just like, we're playing Outrider now, and we're really appreciating all the detail and the love that's put into this game. And it's kind of just whatever it is that we got in Outriders is pretty much what we're going to get, aside from hopefully some future DLC. But everything we gotten from Outriders works so fucking well, aside from glitches. But but like the gameplay, the modifications on your weapons, the look of your character, just how much fun you can like mess around with your specs and stuff like that with people. And I don't understand how you have 7 years of Destiny and Outriders had played you out in a matter of a month or two, whatever, how long as they've been. Like, I don't know. They're doing something wrong.
It's...
And then like,
go ahead, Danny. Sober.
No, you go.
I was gonna say that I didn't know that Destiny 2 was only been out for like 4 years. Yeah, and it's like, and I'm hearing more about Outriders than I am about. I'm hearing more about like information about Outriders than Destiny now, and all I'm hearing is like negative this, negative that, everything bad about Destiny. And I'm like, if you had 10 years of like ideas for this game, how come they're like? I'm curious of why they're not working.
So, well, a side story on that. I can forgive the first 3 years of the game, because when the game first came out, there was this huge controversy going on, because when they were still trying to get the game gold, they lost their writers, so they had to kind of scrap almost everything in the game, including some gameplay elements. So they kind of had to start from scratch, and they kind of scrambled to try to make the release date, and they released a half-ass game. So not a lot of people were really much into Destiny 1, and then eventually kind of redeemed themselves in Destiny 2, kind of little by little as they developed the story a little bit more. So Destiny 1, when it started, was kind of rocky.
Yeah, of course. I've known Destiny because it's the first game. It's not going to be perfect. I'm saying for Destiny 2, with all the time you had with Destiny 1, it's like if you had that much time for the second game, and the second game is what it is now, like I don't know. I feel like they're focusing on the money aspect, but not the enjoyable aspect of the game itself.
I agree with what Kevin's saying is, if you look at what Destiny 1 is and what Destiny 2 is, it hasn't evolved that much. It really hasn't.
Yeah.
It's still the same 3 classes. It's still the same mechanics.
Well, they have a 4th class, but it's still kind of broken too at the same time.
What's the 4th? There's only 3 classes.
3 classes plus the stasis, the dark.
But that's
dark
not a
classes.
class. That's not a class.
Oh, you're talking about the races.
The characters. The race.
Yes.
They have the same three characters that you can pick. That hasn't changed. They gave them on more the stasis, and they gave them the one extra one, whatever it was, the electric. Everybody ended up getting, but that's the only difference from D1 to D2, which is very small. And even in D2, one of the things they did to make it seem like we're gonna give you more content is they just gave you the raid, or not even a raid, the expeditions or whatever you want to call it from D1, and just put it into D2 and be like, look, now we added the same shit. All we did was add the same stuff that was in D1 and put it into D2. It's nothing new that they gave in those games, and
Yeah.
that's a real big disappointment because when somebody who's playing D1 and all of a sudden starts to play D2 is going, oh, this is the same fucking game. Might as well just play D1. But like, there is no point. I think, and that's when we play Outriders, we go, oh my god, this is what we wanted. This is what we've been asking for. A game with crazy fucking new
I
weapons,
changed your
crazy
podcast to the
mods, crazy.
drunken outrider.
Yeah, because it's been what we wanted in Destiny. Have these crazy mods, have these crazy combinations, and so you can feel like you actually customize your character to your play style, whatever that may be. Whether it be you like gunning, then you can do all the running and gunning. If you like the fucking using your powers, you can use the powers. If you want to be a tank, you can be a tank. Like that's what we wanted Destiny to be, but instead you got this very linear game because Destiny is very linear. There's only one type of warlock you can really be. Regardless of which one you pick, they're all kind of the same. There's only one type
there's a
of.
meta that kind of just.
But
It's pretty much
even if
just-
you're, yeah, even if you're like the difference between a fucking warlock and a hunter is very minimal. There's very few things that make them
Gun.
different because at the end of the day, they use the same guns. They'll use the same gun. They'll use the same.
That's the meta
Even
too.
the skills
Yeah.
both look exactly the same. It's just kind of they both their blast just looks a little bit different, but they still just shoot a fireball at the end of the day.
One's purple, one's yellow.
Yeah, it's kind of how it is. And when you play Destiny, Outriders, you go, oh wow, that's completely different.
All right,
like
hold on. I'm gonna stop you here because Amy Chibi has a really good point that I was thinking about. But in a way, that cycle is gonna keep repeating at some point with Outriders. It's gonna be stagnant in some way, and a new game will look at that problem and solve it at launch. So some other game is going to do something better than Outriders did.
Of course, that's a given when it comes to any game. No, that goes for every genre of game. There's not going to be the same. Like there's not going to be a 2K that's different. It's probably going to be 2K that's different than the one that we're playing. It's more so of it being the game being out for so long or having a name for so long, and then the game basically from previous to sequel, the game not changing is the problem. That's the thing.
Exactly.
That's the thing that they're saying. So it's like if they came out
with Outriders 2 and it played just like we did on day one with this, then you'd be like, yeah, they failed. Ultimately, they failed. Because Destiny had the opportunity to reinvent itself, and it didn't. Instead, it just tried to.
Yes.
No, it also goes down to the fucking developer too, because clearly with the launch of Outriders, they were willing to listen to everyone's complaints and fix the server issues or whatever the fuck else they had an issue with.
Awesome
in a
community
timely
service
fashion.
and online.
Yeah. So what they probably did was like, hey, what if we made a game ourselves that could kill Destiny? And you know what makes a true Destiny killer? Listening to what Destiny fans complain about and fixing those issues that Bungie won't.
Yeah.
So the mechanics that you don't like in Destiny, we're not going to include that, or we're going to make it better.
Yeah.
And as Amy Chibi said, once someone starts complaining about fucking Outriders or whatever, and someone else is going to be like, oh, I'm going to take these complaints and I'm going to fix them because they won't. So I'm going to make a game that's going to do what Outriders did to Destiny. And
but that's what.
So then you got fucking buttfuckers that just takes over Outriders, and that's that.
But there are certain games that are able to last the test of time because they take that advice and try to go with it. World of Warcraft is a good example. World of Warcraft.
I have my opinions.
But until now, you said you played it until Cataclysm. How many years was that?
No, so here we go. Cataclysm, I played the entirety of. Pandaria sucked. Warlords of Draenor, that was the one that I stopped that I did go on because the story was interesting because of the time loop, even though they kind of wrote themselves into a little corner.
I thought that the Pandora.
Yeah, no, see, and I went after Pandaria into Warlords. Warlords did become kind of stagnant, and even with what is it? I think they came out with 2 expansions, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't played any of those, and I kind of don't want to. Even with WoW Classic that came out, I'm still kind of apprehensive, but that's just me. Like they weren't doing anything to fix some other issues. Instead, they were like, you know what? You want the old game back so bad, here, fucking take it. which isn't much of a solution. That's kind of them just like sweeping it under the rug instead of actually fucking fixing something.
Yeah, but until then, they were doing the right thing, right? Like think about how many years that is until that actually started to be like, okay, now they finally become stagnant and people are complaining fully now, and then move on to the same thing with Final Fantasy. I mean, they're still going super strong. People complaining about certain little things, but there's still tons of things that people are playing and having fun. And every time a new expansion comes out, people want to play, and then they farm the fuck out of those type of games. And so that means it can be done for more than 4 years. You know, Destiny 2's only been off for 4 years, and they're not doing it. People starting to finally realize it.
I'm just in it more for the story than anything else, and that's about it.
You know, it could really be done for a decade plus. And if you get a decade out of a game, you won. Plain and simple, you won. There is no better feeling than getting more than a decade out of a game.
Oh, fuck you, Kevin.
No, I'm talking about the SpongeBob meme. Okay. With Destiny.
All right, we're gonna leave it at that. We're done with that part. It's funny. We're gonna go to the community question now. Before we start playing Guess the Game, if you guys want to stick around for Guess the Game, I'm going to show you a bunch of images, and you guys can guess along with us, but the guys are going to pretty much try to guess what this game is from based off the image. I like to play other games and stuff like that throughout the different episodes and stuff, but right now that's what we're going to play. If you missed maybe, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did Jeopardy. I got some ideas for next week's episode, which I'll stay quiet for now about it until it works out.
He doesn't want to tell us.
I don't.
You made
I want to surprise you guys too. On top of that,
you got a goddamn secret formula ready, Danny. I'm waiting.
But so we're gonna move on to the community question first. And who was it that asked this question? Was it Kevin?
Danny.
Kevin.
Danny.
Was it?
No,
was
it was
you?
me.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh yeah, it was Randall. Randall.
Yo, eat ass.
Yo, Randy, what's going on? What's the community question?
It was Randy. So Randy, he had asked last week, what do you want as a remake? That's the gist of it. What, like, in light of all these freaking remakes and remasters that's going on, what would you like specifically as a remake? Randy, since it's your question, you want to go first?
Alrighty. So, I did pick 3. Actually, there was like a lot to pick from. But it's kind of hard, so I'm gonna like pick one, I guess, that I really would like, and then I'll just bring out the honorable mentions if anything.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. Okay, so there's this game for the PSP. It's called Valhalla Knights. Have you ever played it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Ugh. All right. Well, Danielle just lost some points.
How do you spell
Anyways, VALHALLA KNIGHTS. Valhalla Knights.
Valhalla Knights. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically, it's kind of like a dungeon crawler, free for all RPG with like.
I like.
You don't have like random combat because you see the monsters on the board, but if you engage with them, then you do engage in combat. Like you can sneak attack them by running from behind. What would I describe it? Blue Dragon, almost.
Ooh, okay.
I never played. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of a different Valhalla game.
All right,
Something else or something. I never played this.
Oh,
no.
Well, anyways.
No.
So there was like a bunch of classes. It's a pretty fun JRPG, so it might tickle your Danielle. But that would be a pretty good remake, honestly, because like the story was good. It was another game that was the difficulty curve was pretty fucking intense because to get to the second area, it takes like well into 5 hours. What?
No, I'm sorry. I'm loving Amy Chivi's like remakes, but go on.
Oh. Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait,
I'm
like, we have to talk.
I could talk about this forever with Amy Chivi's like recommendations for remakes.
so please explain
Dino
your
Crisis
remake.
was the worst fucking game out of the series. Why?
Yo, Danielle really has some like fucked up like.
Have you?
What?
Have you actually played Dino Crisis?
I
That was
love
like
Dino Crisis. I
it
love that
was you
shit.
liked it because it was so bad.
Because
Because it was
no,
they
because
took
it
that
was
What?
engine. It
Resident
took
Evil with dinosaurs. That's all it
yes,
was.
that was the worst fucking game. They took the popularity of Resident Evil and they said, "Oh, let's put dinosaurs to it because Jurassic Park came out. This would be great."
But dude,
I mean,
but
And
dude,
no,
she
no, no. But
it
here's
also
the
was
thing:
says
people,
she
bad.
people like
also
zombie.
says
People like
bloody
dinosaurs.
roar.
Bloody Roar would be.
Bloody
Oh my
I
god! I didn't even think
love
it.
bloody roar. Come on, Danny. Bloody roar.
Whoa! Well, Coco
There's
agrees
no,
with that
but
statement.
the problem. I don't think
I'm
you can.
down. They said Bloody Roar. You got excited. It's okay, Mama.
The problem. I love the original Bloody. I love Bloody Roar. Serious. I like a few of them actually. But the original Bloody Roars was great, but you
It's
couldn't
okay.
really
It's
do that
okay.
nowadays
Okay.
because it's not much
Okay.
more you can change besides making another.
But
It
just
would be a
making it better
sequel,
graphics. Just making better graphics.
but it's not
Change up
really.
the
But it's
gameplay a
not.
little bit.
Okay,
So
look.
then
Hear me
you
out. Hear me out.
remaster it. It's all it
Psychonauts
is.
2.
Really?
It looks the fucking same, but prettier, and it's probably gonna play the same. That's literally what you just said. So there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that idea, but just bloody
Exactly.
roar.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Like that's the same
why.
thing with rival
Yes, I
schools. I would
agree.
love a
Okay,
rival schools remake in the
yes,
same
yes.
vein.
Hold on.
Oh
But
my
hold on,
god!
wait,
Rival
but
schools.
stop. Yeah, right. But okay, the whole point of they're not remaking Psychonauts. It's not a remake. It's a sequel. There's a difference between a sequel and a remake. If you said you
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
making,
No, but you got what I mean,
so
though. As
you
in, like
could,
making it prettier. That's what I was getting at.
yeah, that's all it is. There's a
Fuck it, yo,
huge
Tim Schafer,
difference
remake
between
Psychonauts 1.
yes. If you said you were remaking Psychonauts 1 and it would look completely different, have to play different, and it have to be different, but still have the same premise. That's what the Final Fantasy did so great. And Final Fantasy was the remake that reinvented remakes that is bringing this question to life because they did that so well. They took this not too good looking game, but had a great storyline and a great mechanic, and they put it their own and they made it completely different and they brought you into that world. So what game? So Bloody Roar, you can't bring you into that world. There is no real world besides.
I didn't
So
care
then
for
by
that part.
no,
I cared
hear
for
me
the
out. Then
gameplay.
by remaking it, you give it a fucking world. You give it some lore.
But then it's not what people like about. Like that's why I'm saying that's why I ruined it because that's not what people like about.
Well, Amy
people
Chibi
just like
wants
the
a remake
fighting
of that.
aspect.
So
Nah,
no,
the
but here we
last
go.
one.
What is it? Take Bloody Roar, add something similar to V triggers, 2 variants, and that's it. Kind of just like spice up the fighting thing. Because if you
Now,
think about it,
should they
no, if
make
you
a
think about it,
sequel of
Street
Bloody Roar?
Fighter,
Yes, guaranteed they should make
Sure.
they should make a sequel.
Sure.
If they made a sequel of Bloody Roar 4 whatever, or give it a Bloody Roar, give it a weird fucking name. Don't even say it's a sequel, just give it a different
Like a
name.
subtitle or something.
Yeah.
Wrath
They
of
could do that,
Khan.
and exactly. Wrath of the fucking beast. Wrath of the Dino Crisis. But that would be more suitable to what people want because people just want that fighting game of that's like Bloody Roar.
Oh, man, hold on, wait, time out. You know
hold
what'd be cool, shit?
on, guys, because our fighting guru right here is staying really quiet right now.
Nah, because every game that y'all mentioned is hitting my soul. So it's like Bloody Roar was a classic of mine. I loved it on the GameCube and the PlayStation. Well, what else? What
would you do to the remake?
What would I do to the remake? I don't think because Bloody Roar is an arena fighter. It's hard to it's hard to put it like in the genre of like, oh, give it a V trigger and everything, because that sounds like a 2D mechanic.
Okay, but here's the thing.
That's what I'm
Again,
saying. You can't make it a remake because making it a remake takes away of. You would have to change what makes that game great. You would have to not make it the arena. You'd have to take away the combat style that it has. You would have to take away so much to try to remake it.
You know what I should have done?
Wait, hold on. But there's something I can say that you can do that it would work perfectly well. If you give the beast trigger, like the beast transformation, a meter, so that you can only transform a certain amount of so to balance it for nowadays. So you can't just go straight up beast in the beginning of the thing. And it keeps you in the mechanic of the game is still like unbalanced, because we can all agree that Bloody Roar is unbalanced as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie, that game is completely unbalanced. But just keep it like with the mechanic of just tame the beast transformation, and then that's fine. Like I feel like, and everything else about the game is perfectly, you can transmit it into another remake, and just I guess make it look pretty. Don't do.
But and again, that's not a remake. That's just a sequel. That's just another. It's just a different part.
Yeah.
If you were just to change one aspect but leave everything else the same, it's just a sequel. That's what
It is.
most of these
Okay.
sequels are.
I was gonna ask that the third option that she gave, and I know me and Danny will definitely agree with this, but like the Legacy of Kane series.
I will.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's my
Danny,
yeah.
Dan,
my
Drunken
pick.
Guardian.
That
I'm
was
gonna
my
stab
pick.
you because that's my favorite series. But we're not even gonna talk about that. Like I'm too young apparently to know about that series.
But the original
Maybe Blood Omen. I would love a Blood Omen. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Soul
the
Reaver
original-
too. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but you have to do the Blood Omen right 1st.
Yeah.
The Blood Omen, to me, the Blood Omen has so much more potential than the Soul River series because
Yeah.
in the original Blood Omen, you have so many different towns that you go through that all kind of look the same, unfortunately. But you can elaborate on that. You can change all it up and actually do a deep dive and go into those towns and really sneak around and do all that stuff, as well as the other worlds they went to, other aspects of the world they went to with the snow cover, all that stuff. But the biggest part, if they did leave it, they would still have to have that narration feel that made that game so great, you know. But you can do so much more with that Blood Omen world
I know.
really get into it. It's
I
kind
know
of
you guys have done the Soul
It's a
Reaver
little bit
stuff.
what they tried to do with the really bad fucking prequel or whatever the hell that was.
Oh yeah,
the
no,
Blood
we're
Omen
not talking
game.
about that. Yeah.
Hold
But
on,
it's kinda
before
what
anyone else goes on, let me just do this real quick.
Fuck yeah, I'm proud of it. But so I know you guys have probably played the Soul Reaver stuff, but have you played the Blood Omen, like the original
course,
Blood Omen
of
that set up the whole
course.
Kane series?
Yes, I played it. I bought it on Steam because it was cheap, but I've played
Like
the original.
I think over like I would, I'm not saying I wouldn't love a Soul Reaver remake, but I would love more so a Blood Omen remake, like to establish more of just how it all started, basically.
I
with
agree.
the best ending of the bad guy, the guy who turned bad and destroyed the world.
Yeah.
Like the whole concept of you have to set up that world like that with not even giving. And if they did the remake, they just wouldn't give him the option. It wouldn't be no real. Actually, you probably still throw it in for fun, shits and giggles, but it's the one everybody was gonna choose. Take the throne, destroy the
I would hope
pillars,
so.
and you fucking rule the world. And then the sequel, which is the Soul Reaver series, ran with that, which was phenomenal because that's not what you think they would run with. Usually, your Kane was the main character, but he never said he was a good or a bad guy. He just wanted revenge. He didn't give a shit what happened. He didn't even want to fucking do these pillar things. He only did it because he was told that's what he has to do, kill everybody. He was like, all right, fine.
I feel like even like Kane as a character is more like I love the aspect of it not telling you what side he's on, like if he's a good or bad guy, as Danny said previously. I love that aspect of him being like, all right, fuck it, well, now the world's going to shit and everybody's got to deal with it. If you think about it, you're playing the game, you're walking into some random strangers and they're drinking their blood. That's not a good thing. You're not a good guy. Not at all. Random fucking innocent people. You're not good. Yeah. So to be able to play not good like that, and then say, yeah, you're right, this is the bad guy you're playing with in the sequels, and then really get an actual hero in the Soul River series was interesting. Yeah, I honestly felt like I don't think any game. Well, I wouldn't say any game, but I would say that was one of those games that you can play a very good, I would say, villain and not know it till like not like it's done very well. So it's like a hush hush thing, and I was like, he could be a good guy, because Scorpion is not a bad guy, but then you find out he's not a good guy either. It's like
He's not bad. He's just misunderstood.
Yeah, it's like he's not bad. He's just misunderstood, and that's the aspect people take it as. So I always love that idea of not knowing what the person's ideals are. I guess
he's just an angsty teen. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much drinking blood and killing people.
All right, so okay. I want to mention also on Instagram, we got HRBirdo13. He also says there are 3 games. I'm only going to mention one of them right now since we don't have too much time. But the Devil May Cry series, like the original ones, I guess. What do you guys think of that?
2 is awful. Don't even bring that shit back.
So then remake it.
Danny,
and fix it.
ban him from.
Okay, done.
Remake and what?
Nah, two is off. Two, regardless to the sense, two was like by far the most awful story I've ever played. And even if you remake it, it's not going to take away that aspect of two is still awful. Like you can make the game look pretty, you can make the game play well, but everybody's gonna have in their mind that wow, this game was really shit then, and remaking it just really makes me feel shit playing it now. You know what I mean? Like you already had your idea of playing it, and I love the Devil May Cry series. Still hate one. I mean, still hate two. One is kind of unfair, but it's fun, and three is my favorite because three is the prequel,
like three.
right? Three is the prequel.
Yeah.
So like it's fun. Four, I love Nero because the voice actor that plays Nero is big anime guy, John Young Bosch, and
isn't it Ichigo?
Huh? Yes, Ichigo, and
yes.
he's also the Power Ranger, the Black Ranger.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, I know about this more than me.
yeah. But yeah, the Devil May Cry series, I agree. Two, they can just skip over it, just make 3 2 and make 4 3, 5 4. Just bury it.
All right, so
so
hold on.
I'm just gonna shotgun the rest of the shit quickly because there were 3.
Okay.
I only got to the Hollow Knights.
Well, we're not gonna comment too much on the other on.
No, that's why. That's why. Just shotgun. That's it.
Go for it.
So 3 choices. First one, Valhalla Knights. The other ones were here we go. Maximo Ghost of Glory.
Whoa!
For PS2.
Maximo.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Right. He's gonna miss the other one. I don't know if he played it. I hope he has. It's a 360 game that I remember playing as a kid. 99 Nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the Dynasty Warriors type of.
Yeah.
type of
That's what I
game,
liked about it. It was like a Muso game without being an actual like. Yeah.
He got Maximo. He has Maximo. Look at that.
I have my copy somewhere. It's not here.
Yeah, Maximo was like a 3D Ghouls and Goblins.
It's a spin-off of it. It's in the same universe.
Yeah.
That's why he also has the same underwear as him.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Kevin, have you played 99 Nights?
Yes.
And 3. Yes. Okay, good.
That was the third one that he had mentioned.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I take your Maximo and I add Shadow of Rome PS2 or remake. I would probably take Maximo more.
I'll take Maximo. I grew up playing that game since I was younger.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Danny,
And even the
what's-
beginning, the first thing, dun, 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 just the song is like stuck in me.
Danny,
You know what, y'all making me
what's your
wanna play this
choice?
again.
What's your choice for your remake?
Come on, Danielle.
Oh, it was. I was gonna say, like I said, Legacy of Kain.
Oh, okay.
Because that was my big one, and then other than that, it was gonna be Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
would be really nice.
I would love a
honestly.
Chrono Trigger remake.
Because they can do the whole same. The game just had so many. The story was just so great. It went into the past, future, all this stuff. Like there is so much more character development that you can do. There's so much more characters that you can really focus on, and it's like you really do a deep dive in those games and feel more interested than what they did. And it just a game like that, because when you talk about remakes, you got to realize there's a difference between a remake and a remaster or a sequel. Because those are three different things. So if you remake it, you have to really have the same bare bones, but then rip everything else apart and make it new. And there are very few games that you can do. You can't really do. You just can't say, "Oh, I'm going to remaster any game and remake any game," because it's not going to work. Some games just don't work. Dino Crisis is definitely fucking one of those games. It was a horrible game.
It works. It works. I don't care what you say. Now, for the sake of time, I'm so sorry, Danielle. I don't mean to cut you off, but we will need a third one because we do have the other 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is going to be oh fuck! I just went blank. Go back to me.
I honestly just picked one anyways.
Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That was my choice.
What'd you say? What did you say? What?
Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve.
Yes.
Parasite Eve is. I only picked one, and Parasite Eve was my choice. That's literally my choice right there. Like I fucking love the story. I love the gameplay.
Yeah.
Such
There's
a unique game.
You can create such a beautiful world out of that out of that game and just throw so much crap out of you, and you can just, and that's a game that you can create a completely new world, but still keep the same premise with the characters, because that game was just about the characters, not where they were at. You know, they didn't have a certain town or a certain place. It was very basic on all that. It was just about them and how she got her powers and all that crazy shit. So you have so much more range you can go with remaking that game, and that'd be a beautiful one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, think of a third one. I'm gonna throw a second one in the ring for you because I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree with this. Ready?
Destiny 1.
I don't need a Destiny 1. Moving on.
Destiny 1 Intergrade. How about that? No. Brave Fencer Musashi.
Brave Fencer Musashi. I love
that. A remake of that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cream myself.
Yeah. That's a good one, yeah.
Back when it was Squaresoft? Fuck yes.
Yes.
So what would the third one be? Go. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1.
I don't know. All right,
Half.
Kevin. We got Kevin. Moving
Okay,
on.
yeah, what's up? I'm
What
going
is
back
Kevin's
with, I mentioned it last week, of course, my favorite game for the PS Vita. Muramasa the Demon Blade. I need that. I need a remaster of
we
that.
mentioned it. Yeah, we mentioned it last week.
I meant
fuck.
that. I would say
I gotta ask you this because you mentioned this. So the graphics are still beautiful because they had like these watercolor type of
Hand-painted.
styles. It was hand
course.
painted. Yeah. So what is it that you would like to change to make it a remake?
I would say make the mechanics a little bit, or the fighting mechanics a little bit faster, because the game did feel sluggish, and even though the animation was beautiful, the game to me, like when I was fighting, felt slow most of the time. And that's honestly that doesn't have to be something that they have to touch at all. They could just, like, I would say, I wouldn't know how to put it to be faster, but make it a lot more. I would say up to date, I guess. I don't know, because the game runs well. It looks perfect the way it is. I would just like the game to be faster, because I'm used to, now that I'm used to fast-paced RPGs and stuff like that. I'm used to that now. But seeing it is like, I like the slowing
feel
thing.
like it would be better with a third dimension to it?
3D?
Like
No,
a 2.9D type of thing.
No, I would rather 2.5, but that's as far as like the way Dragon Ball looks. That it looks like almost cartoony, but
I get what you mean. No, but I mean, like, would you rather have it a third axis, or if anything, a second plane, like Little Big Planet? You know how it has the 3 planes of kind of standing.
Leave it as one plane, because that's what, that's what made the game so, like, unique, that you can literally run side to side and then you randomly get into battles.
Man,
that was my
game. Man, I need to get back on that shit.
That was my first, and then my second, because I only have 2, is the Bouncer.
Oh,
that was my shit. I need a remaster of that.
I could.
That could work.
They could definitely work, because it was a fairly simple, like, beat 'em up type of games, and they could add a lot more shit to that game to make it more complex.
It was really good.
And keep the fucking ragdoll physics. I need my characters.
You have to keep that.
Okay, so last one then. Last one for everyone. Chaos Legion.
Yeah, fuck yeah, give me that.
Is that Pokemon game?
What? Huh?
Am I thinking of like that wannabe Pokemon game? What am I thinking of?
That. Is that an RPG game?
Google it really quickly. It's like a beat 'em up. Chaos Legion.
Beat 'em up.
Can I tell? Oh shit! I just remember a third. I just know a third. I know a third.
Go for
real quick. Pokemon Stadium.
I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan to really want that.
Tenchu.
Now to my 2
That's
weeks.
what I would want. Tenchu. Give it that Ghost of the Tsushima fucking feel.
Ooh, a bigger draw distance.
Yeah.
Larry Sleazy. Leisure Shoot Larry?
Leisure Shoot Larry?
Larry, yes.
Oh my god.
No, I see Larry Sleazy. I'm like, is that what they mean?
A Leisure Suit Larry? No, I don't need that anymore. I
need game. I've never played it, but I was scared too, because I thought it was too adulty for me.
Chaos Legion. I know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
I have that game. I'm actually gonna start playing it. It just sounds loud as shit on my system. Let's
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to it. Let's get to it. Let's get
All
to
right.
it.
All right. So yeah, the man has a lot of fucking games that would be a good remake. All right.
Oh, here's a
Uh,
big one. How about this? Mega Man. We talked about it all fucking day.
Oh, which
Mega Man
one?
Adventure?
No, the original fucking Mega Man. Give it that full. You know how they did that 3D game?
11, like the 11, the 11
Adventure.
feel.
Well, no, the one for N64 and Xbox, whatever it was.
Adventure?
When it, yeah, the Mega Man Adventure one. You give it that kind of feel, and you just make it huge, but like that Final Fantasy huge remake huge, and it's like all out. Fucking, you can do whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
Get
Give me the-
massive
Yeah.
fucking.
Give me
I
that
don't know.
nut bolt,
I
boss.
I would honestly like more so than like a that platform shooter Mega Man is Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, Mega
That's
Man.
the one I'm talking about. The Mega Man Legends one.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
one, Mega
okay.
Man Legends.
Uh,
Like you give it that because that kind of had that feel of they took it and they tried to make it more, but you can even go, you know, the new age. You don't have to be the cartoony vibe. It could be fucking straight serious. You can make it a much more serious game. You know, make them a little more adult type of thing,
yeah.
and just the powers and stuff alone of all the different moves and weapons you can get would just be awesome. You know.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go on to finally the game, guess the game stuff. I got a couple of images that I'm going to show you guys, and you guys are just going to guess the game, and then we'll move on to the finish of the show. I want to go on forever, honestly. This is a lot of fun, but we have to end the show
Yeah.
eventually. So this is
If
fucking
anything, next
crazy.
week we could spend like the first 40 minutes talking about like remakes and remasters
Yeah,
and shit.
right.
Oh yeah,
Because we have ideas.
I can write the list down. I can finally write
Like,
the list.
for example, for Bloody Roar, if they remake or make a sequel to that, add the fucking dude from Ultra Beast as like a
Oh
hidden
my
character.
fucking god!
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like all of his forms as like a different input to like go into that.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
All right, so I got the Twitch feed up on the new screen here. You guys are on the Twitch feed right now. Just check out the images so that way everybody is in sync watching it, and you guys as well. Just guess what this game is. Just let me know what it is. You can shout it out, whatever. I don't give a shit. Nobody's getting points.
No
What is the Drunken Guardian for 400?
So no buzzers this time?
No buzzer.
No buzzers.
That was horrible.
Bring
on.
back the buzzers. Oh, that's a Sura's Wrath.
Rafa Mastura.
Kevin was close, but Randy got it. Yeah.
Yeah, Randy got it.
Asura's Wrath. Yeah, that shit was. That was a lot of
Michibi
fun
got it too.
for a nothing but a quick time event game. Is pretty much it.
It was
Danny.
mine with fun.
Danny,
It was
if you don't
fun.
talk about that one instance that you fight Akuma, we finished
DLC?
Shake.
Yo,
Yeah,
I didn't
and-
know about that. I did not know about that until I saw it on YouTube.
Did you even know that the actual ending you had to pay for it because it was DLC?
Yeah,
The ending
yep.
to the base.
Yeah, and I did not pay for that shit.
Can you still find that game? I've never. I know it's gonna sound sad, but I've never played the full game. I've only played the demo.
You even
And that-
fight Oni.
Yeah,
Oni? What do you mean?
that's a evil form of Akuma. Like,
His
Yeah.
like actual true rage. He's like brolic. He's blue and his hair is fucking
Mhm.
bright.
Asura's Wrath managed to beat Metal Gear 4 on being more of a movie than the game.
Yeah, honestly.
It's pretty true. It was a quick time event game. That's the whole thing. That was the whole game, pretty much. So, anyways, so we're moving on.
You
to the
just
next
you just watched anime and you pressed a couple buttons here and there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here's the next one here.
I was about to say Marvel's Capcom 3 for Asura's Wrath. Believe it or not.
It's a black screen.
Hey, isn't that Brave?
Oh, Brave Fencer, yeah.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
It's
saw that right up.
It's so funny that we mentioned it here, yeah, and then all of a sudden, yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
yeah,
my
it's
heart.
It's one of the weird games where you could turn, where you could pause, where you fast forward time so that the stores are open and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
I miss that
Wow.
game. That was such a game. I do have it on my PS1 Classic. I might play that one time if I ever
Oh,
have a chance
please,
to
please,
stream.
please, please.
You want me to do
please.
that?
Yes. I'll donate. I don't care.
Yeah. I'll do that there. I'm done. This is
Yeah,
my
now
last
that
week
money's involved, right?
This is my last week of school, fucking finally. So I have 3 weeks off until my summer classes start, so I can like stream some shit and finally play something. So
Gotcha,
we'll see.
gotcha.
We'll see how that goes.
Like in Monster Hunter. Yes.
Here, funny enough, here's the next picture.
Is it Monster Hunter?
Let's see. Oh, that's
Onimusha 3. Demon
Randy.
Seed.
Randy, stop
I
fighting me.
swear to you guys.
Demon Siege.
I swear to you guys, this is all a coincidence.
What game is that?
You gotta say the whole title, bro. Come
Onimusha
on.
3. We played this together,
Three.
Danny. Yeah.
Why
Onimusha
not?
3 Demon
Why'd they
Siege.
have,
Get-
like, the fucking
Put some
guy
fucking respect on it.
professional?
Randy, we ain't gonna talk about this. We ain't gonna talk about this because I already said it first. I stole both your games. You stole mine.
That's John right there, bro.
We're gonna fight if you keep talking to me like that. Don't worry about it. I'll see you after the stream.
Bro, most of the game is him going, Andre! That's it. A little fucking kid.
Oh, it is the guy from Professional. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's Jean Reno.
Yeah, Jean Reno.
I'm like,
I
you
fucking
fucking
love
looks
that
just
guy.
like-
I love
I
that
don't remember.
guy.
I don't actually think I played the part.
He's such a nice guy. Like he was known as like the nicest guy in Hollywood back then.
Yeah, I'm sad that I've never got a chance to play this game. I might have
in
to
the
find
perfect
it.
movie.
Bro, I'm gonna give you my Steam account. I have it.
No, I'm gonna just get the classic. I'm gonna go to my spot. I'm gonna get the retro game. I'm buying retro games now. I'll be that guy.
All right, moving on to the next one right here.
This was the last. I was
No.
light.
No,
He was about to say he's a goodbyes and
I
everything.
never said how many.
Oh, come on. I don't know. this one.
Castlevania
Symphony of the Night?
Ah,
No, it's
Symphony
not.
of the
Is
Night.
this Symphony of the Night? Oh, I have.
Is it a Castlevania game?
Yes.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night. You got it
oh,
right.
you got it right. We both got it right. With this
okay.
forward moonwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fighting a weak ass
is it-
wolf. That was nothing.
I
Yeah,
love the game. That game
Is
was
it
fun.
innocent?
One weapon.
Innocent something. Forgot which one was it.
I wouldn't mind a remake for this too. Honestly,
The Symphony?
like this
Yeah,
is probably
I
one of
agree.
the best Castlevania games ever.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, they would have to remake the original Castlevania first before they do this.
No, they wouldn't need to, honestly. They could do it without having to remake number one. They could just do Symphony because Symphony is like honestly, Symphony I think is better than fucking one. Not just because
I
it's
agree.
like
No, I agree
further
with
ahead,
that.
fleshed out, but it's a game that's worth playing more than one.
Yeah,
Because you can play one
I-
and you're like, all right, cool.
Because-
But you play Symphony, you're in it.
It's an RPG. I mean,
honestly-
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, with the
That's why I
way
like
they're
it so
doing,
much.
honestly, the way that they're doing remakes, I don't even think you need to worry about like the number. You could just remake one of them, especially this one that's very iconic, and it will be well. Like nobody's gonna look at it like, oh, this is a bad. This why didn't they do the original? I was like, because this one's a fucking staple. Even if you want to play the first one, and who knows if they do the first one, you can always do it without a problem.
Yeah, and it has its own story of like why he's white Jack and all that stuff. But so I guess that does make sense. You could do it without doing it.
Mhm.
And this would be and that castle that you could have the whole game in that castle, you know,
Yeah.
and just be this huge giant fucking castle. Just make it really like what the game was trying to be originally. How this castle was so big, and it would be so fun. It would be different. All the rooms and stuff you can have. It would be just a great game.
Now look at how they could fuck it up. Make it episodic. That's the best way they
Why
could
would
fuck
you
it.
do that?
Oh my god.
That's the worst. That's the worst idea I could think. I thought of. I was like, that's the best way they could fuck it up.
Just
Make the
don't
game
speak-
episode.
Don't speak it into
You know
existence.
that trend ended a long time ago because there
It
was a
did.
lot
Thank
of games that
goodness.
tried to do something like that, and they was
They
just
also
like,
fucked
no.
up.
Yeah,
You mean Final Fantasy 7?
Mm-hmm.
No, but seven, the thing is that it already
That's a
came in
good
four
point.
discs. No, it already came in four discs, so it was kind of episodic in its own sense.
Mhm.
But at least like it was still like kind of a full thing. What they're doing now is that they're giving you a lot of content for what it was.
yeah.
Also, Lost Odyssey remake. Come on.
No, you know what? I really like that game, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling that too much for a remake.
Remaster?
How much?
Maybe
how-
maybe
how-
a remaster. Maybe a remaster.
Remaster.
What would you feel if? How would you guys? I said, what would you feel? How would you guys feel if they make like? I know it's like way too soon, but if they make a Uncharted
Last-
remaster. Shut up, Randy. Uncharted remaster.
No, I don't care for remaster Uncharted. For one, it's too soon, and number
They
two,
did.
like,
It's called Part 4. It's remastered. of
yeah,
part
pretty
1.
much. That's yeah, because that's the same point that we had touched on an episode or two ago. Was that the fact that like pretty much every single game was just a very slight iteration of the last. Like it wasn't that much of a difference.
Like
So-
Destiny 1 to Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So this is basically what I said drunken. Sober Guardian was talking about sooner.
Danielle.
About Sober Guardian was talking about earlier about the them not being I would say remaster. It would be a remake. I mean remake. I said a sequel, I believe.
Yeah,
And
that's the biggest thing that people try to when they hear remaster, they hear remake, that they have to get that straight. That there's difference. It's a remake, it's a remaster, and it's a sequel. Those are three different iterations of games.
Like I said in chat, I should have made it a broader question for remake / remaster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the Resident Evil VR, is that a remake?
Oh, fuck off.
I think that's just a remaster with a first
That would
person
be
view.
remastered.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
First person remaster.
Now Amy Chibi says something that I was something I was kind of thinking of, but I don't know. But yeah, Danny, do you remember Galarians?
Yeah.
What do you think of a remake of that?
Actually, no, I don't remember Galarian.
That's
Wait,
it.
hold
So
on.
yeah, that's the thing. You guys might want to look it up because I don't know if you guys remember it. It was a very obscure game. It was
that was scary. Yeah, I remember
it was
that,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 CDs long on a PS1.
It was 3.
Yeah, and I liked it. It was a very different, very slow burn type of game with like an action adventure. I don't think it was RPG-ish. It was more action adventure-ish. A remake of that would be kind of nice if it was a little bit more fast paced, though.
That's the remake part of it. You make it a bit faster.
That's the remake
Yeah.
part. You could.
But is that really a remake?
It's super slow, but you can still keep that creepy tone to it and everything. You know?
Yeah. The creepy tone was kind of like what made the game as well, especially with the art style because they had like this alien type looking heads. Like they were humans, but they had these weird shaped heads with like the big ass eyes.
Oh, I see.
Very
But
anime.
Parasite
Very indeed anime.
Yeah. Like that. All right, we're gonna move on to the final picture.
Yeah, I gotta go back. Hold on, I'm looking at Galarians.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna watch a playthrough of that if you guys don't like play that shit.
I had that on my PS1 Classic too, actually.
Don't remember this one. I'm gonna turn around. Hey, Danny, this is all you, buddy. You got this.
Come on, Danielle, do it for the team.
Danny,
You
better
got
have
this, buddy.
one. You better have this one.
Amy Chibi, can we count on you?
Legend of what was it? Legend of Gaia? No, I don't know what that is.
I can see you getting there, but no.
No, what is it?
Well, let's see if anybody else gets it. Hopefully, maybe if Amy Chibi, she's been doing really well over here.
Listen.
She missed Brave Fencer though, so I don't know.
You have played the game, Danny. I know you have, or at least seen me play the game.
It's an RPG. I just don't know which one.
Obviously, 2400. What was it? 2400
EXP?
experience received.
That's a lot. Well, our hope is
Breath of the
lost.
Wild?
Amy doesn't know. Not Breath of the Wild.
What? He was off with that.
Who said that?
Not Breath of It's part 3. The Wild Arms.
Breath of Fire, you mean?
No, I was thinking Wild Arms, actually.
It's Wild
Wild
Arms.
Arms 3.
It is Wild Arms.
It is Wild Arms.
Yeah, it's Wild Arms.
Oh,
Okay. He said
You said Breath of the Wild. I think you meant Breath of Fire.
I meant Wild Arms. It's the wild part. I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember that was the Breath of Fire. The original when we played, that was a 2D
Yeah.
type. You know,
Yeah.
I remember that. So it was the Wild Arms series
that's
that they
cute.
made into 3D.
I actually have a question. Well, I have a request for you guys when you guys have time. There's a list of PlayStation games that I do want to play. Well, P2 if you guys can remember. If you guys can recommend one, I'll honestly find it and play it. If
PlayStation
possible.
2.
Chaos Legion.
I have Chaos Legion. Shut up. I have it. If you got not now, but that's something I wanted to start doing. Start playing recommended games. And if I can complete it in the session, then I'll complete it in the session. But
I have one. Nightmare of Druaga.
played
What
it.
the fuck is that?
That's like, wait, Danielle, do you know about this one?
No.
No?
Game's a fucking nightmare.
It's definitely. It's basically like kind of a dungeon crawler tile-based RPG, JRPG, that you play as this, knight in golden armor, and you have to kind of go through each floor of said Tower of Druaga, and it power spikes Like first level, you're like, yeah, no problem. Second level, at that point, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
I was playing the game recently, and I
What
was like,
that
why the
game, Danny? What was that game with the traps?
Deception.
Trap Gunner? Oh,
What?
Deception.
Is Deception the one you place those traps in weird places
In
to
the
try
in
to
the
beat
castle, yeah.
Oh, with like
Yeah,
the,
Deception.
the horse thing, and yo, I saw that I saw the game that was like that. That's on the Vita, and it was too much for my little brain to handle. I was like 18. I was like, what the fuck is this game I'm looking at? The traps. But yeah.
That's
Wait,
a
wait,
game
wait,
I
hold on.
recommend. That was a
this
fun
is a
game.
fair question for you guys. Have any of you ever played a game on PlayStation 1 called Trap Gunner?
Trap Gunner, no.
It's an Atlas game. It's really good. It's
So
anime
it's an
as fuck.
RPG?
No. It's almost like a kind of arena combat, except it's top down, and you can only see your portion of like where your character is, and if you're playing split screen, then like whatever. But
That's cool.
you
I
get
like it.
there's like 8 characters, I think 6 probably. The roster's really tiny. Again,
No
yeah,
fucking wait. Randy.
What?
Do you know I've been looking for this game for fucking years? I played the demo of it and I didn't know what the name of the game was.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Now it is.
It's really fun because there's a bunch of like different traps that you could place, and your characters each have like different abilities to them. There's weapons that you could pick up. There's different in the arenas. Everything has its own kind of like mechanic towards it, and the boss characters are also like interesting. Everyone has their own story, obviously, but it's a pretty fun kind of like battle game. It's like a more complex Bomberman without it being a maze that you just like set shit down.
Okay.
Look it up. It's pretty neat.
I already know this game. This is
I'm trying to look through honestly some PS2 games right now. Before we start ending the episode.
Van Rayleigh.
Beautiful Joe.
played it.
Ico.
Ooh, Richie.
Beautiful
Please
Joe.
tell me you played Ico.
PlayStation?
Have you played Ico?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they eventually ported it from Nintendo to PlayStation.
Oh, they ported it.
Yeah.
It was for Nintendo first. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Same
Played
thing with
Ico.
Okami.
I actually watched a playthrough. My brother was playing that game in front of me, and I literally watched the entirety of it.
Damn. It's not a lot.
You don't have to think of a list now.
I know.
That's
I mean, we got a little bit of time, so I was trying to find some shit. But like Shadow Colossus, you play Shadow Colossus?
of course. Who
Better
hasn't?
have. I don't know. It's not a lot that I would think that you haven't played. Police Knots remake by Kojima. Oh no.
What is Police Knots?
Police Knots was an old Kojima game before even like Zone of Enders.
Oh, that one, Zone of the Enders.
Zone
That
of
was a good
Enders
one.
would be a good remake for if Kojima even is able to touch it, because I mean it's a Konami game still, so I don't know how Konami and Kojima are, if they're friends still or not after everything that's happened. Same thing with Police Knots, because Police Knots I believe was also Konami. So anything by Konami, period, I don't think Kojima would ever want to touch anymore, even if it is his property or not, because Konami still probably owns it.
Prince of Persia, that came out on the PS2. That was good.
Say what?
Prince of Persia.
Prince of
Which
Persia.
one?
Well, actually, they're doing a remaster for
Sands
Prince of
of Time.
Persia.
Yeah,
They're doing it.
Yeah, Sands of Time. It was
It
a
got
great one.
it got delayed indefinitely, so they're not sure when they're going to release it. And I'm pretty sure it was just because of COVID, but I don't know.
You said
if there's any
Ico,
other
right?
reason.
I
Ico was
played
another
Ico.
one.
Oh, Kevin, I got a game for you.
What's up?
50 Cent Bulletproof.
Yep, that was good.
That was actually pretty good.
Okay, hold. I was about to say I was going to take that as a joke game. Hold on. So
No. I'm like 100% serious.
It was a
No,
decent
no.
game. It was a
It
decent
definitely
game.
was.
Blood on the
definitely
Sand
was.
is a bad one. Bulletproof
Yeah.
is a good one.
Yeah.
What was that? I forgot. I played it for the PC. It's with the bullet time, the first one.
Max Payne.
Max Payne?
Max Payne.
Max Payne.
Yeah. That
That's
Max
a
Payne
good
3
one.
was
Oh.
awful. I didn't like Max Payne 3 at all.
Horrible. Absolutely the worst.
The first Max Payne was a lot of fun though.
First Max
They
Payne
could
was
remaster
the
that.
best.
Yeah.
That
Actually, a
was
remake. A
that-
remake would still be nice.
Ooh, Dirge of Cerberus.
What?
Mm,
Remake or to play
Oh,
through?
play it.
I don't think I want to play it at all.
Really? Yo, Genesis makes a comeback at the end.
I'm a huge. I'm not gonna say huge, honestly, but I'm a fan of Vincent, but I didn't really like the game much at all.
Can I tell you the funny thing, Randy? Can I
Yeah.
tell you I played the shit out of that game, and I love that game. One of my
Disaster
faves.
Report.
You guys know Disaster Report?
Disaster Report.
It's an earthquake simulator game.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Because what's funny about it? No, what's funny about it is that it's like you play as someone in the middle of like a whole like crisis is happening,
Yeah,
and there's this game that I saw. Let me find the name of
that's
it
so
real
funny
quick.
you mentioned that. Oh man,
It's called City Shrouded in Shadow, right? So it's like Disaster Report, except instead of an earthquake happening, it's kaiju, like Godzilla and shit, Ultraman and whatnot, attacking
Oh,
the city. So you're playing as a civilian that's in the middle of a fight.
can I tell you there's a part 4 to that game? How the fuck?
What, Disaster Report?
Yes, Disaster Report 4
Yeah.
Summoner's Memories. It's on the PS4 Vita. I mean
I don't
VR.
never.
Well then.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
But the City Shrouded in Shadow, that one only came out in Japan. But the concept is interesting because it's like you always see the giant creatures fighting, but you never know what happens to people on the ground.
Mm.
So you have to avoid, getting stomped on by this fucking giant thing, by like a fucking because I think they also have like shit from Evangelion in it.
Oh man.
So you got Godzilla, you got Ultraman, you just all these giant fucking creatures and like mechs and shit.
Oh, and it's anime as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Karen. Fuck Karen.
All right. All right. So we're gonna end it here. Yeah. So keep in mind we used to have our podcast every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, live, of course, as you guys are joining us right now. But we are actually moving down to Thursdays. So set your calendars. I also have a schedule on our Twitch page as well that shows that we're going to be on from now on Thursday nights starting next week, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Nothing changes with the format of the podcast at all, so we're just changing the time pretty much. If you guys want to join in on the community questions, we have a Twitch. We have a TikTok channel and an Instagram channel. All you have to do is search for The Drunken Guardian, and you'll find it. And we have a website as well if you want to go to the links and find the audio podcast as well, which is thedrunkenguardian.com. You're already in the Twitch channel, so you guys already know where to find me in that. And for any gaming stuff, I don't have a set schedule for any gaming stuff, but I'm trying to actually stream and game as much as I can with my busy schedule. So we'll see how that goes. But Boneless Bones, he's got his own Twitch channel as well. Our fighting guru over there. Tell us about it.
What's going on, guys? It's your man Bonus Bones back at it again with another stream. How's it going? I haven't streamed in 2 weeks. I'm actually streaming this week. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of changes. Channel is bonelessbones_TV on twitch.tv, and I have a YouTube channel as well, just Boneless Bones without the _TV. I'd love to see you guys there, and stay powerful.
Yeah. And as always, we got Randy and Danny joining us as always. Before we go, we got to come up with a community question. Of course, I always have a list. Do you guys have anything? I don't know who is next.
So what order does it go? Does it go?
I have no idea. I lost track at this point.
Because I thought it was me, Danny, Drunken Guardian, Sober Guardian, Randy, and then it goes back to me. I thought, because I never know when you make a question, it usually just skips you and it goes straight to somebody else. So I'm going to let you do the question this week. I'll let you do the question.
So what should the order be again? So we remember?
So it's Drunken Guardian, Sober Guardian, Danny, Randall, and then me.
So it would be you then.
So you call me Randall and you don't call him Danielle.
Because I fucking hate the monster from Monsters Inc. It's trauma.
So that means he hates you? So that was a bad.
Let me see. Oh, I got this one. A term that you use in fighting games that you also use in real life.
Motherfucker, we don't really
What
play
the
fighting games
fuck?
like that.
Yeah, I don't play fighting games like
I'm
that.
saying not fighting games. A term that you use in a game
Nigga, you said fighting games.
Are
I
you?
said fighting games because I'm probably inebriated. Oh wait, hold on. Or we can give it to Chibi.
Well,
Chibi,
if Amy Chibi is up for a community question that everybody can answer, is that what your random question is? Which game you believe has the best voice narration? Ooh,
Oh, that's easy.
we're going with that.
Bastion.
What?
why would you answer it now?
Shut up.
Because I also have another answer.
Which game? I'm gonna
Um,
write that down. Which game you believe?
All right, so the community question is: which game do you believe has the best voiced narrator?
Resident Evil.
Just because he just
Wait, voice narration is
No,
like
Joe,
an actual
don't
narrator or like
open
voice
that
actor?
door.
wait. This hallway is dangerous.
Hold on,
I'm
like,
going with
to
that.
clarify on that one though. It's like by voice narration, it's like having an actual narrator or just best like voice acting.
Voice acting.
Personally.
I guess that's what you mean. Voice acting? Is that what you mean, Amy? Let me
Yeah,
see-
Amy, because if
let me
you
see
say
if
voice acting, I already have two answers. One of them is a joke.
Voice narration, that's definitely something along the lines of like Supergiant games where
like
someone is like talking over
Bastion,
what's
yeah,
happening.
Bastion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like what was the game I can think of off the top of my head? World Eater. Oh, something in the World Eater has a lot of narration. Both to
Both to make it more.
ooh,
interesting.
make it interesting.
Okay,
Ooh,
which game you
Okay,
believe
cool.
has the best voice narration or
So voice acting
best
or just voice over?
acting?
Actually, make narration and then voice acting. So it could
Yeah.
be two. It could be a two.
No, that's voiceover or voice acting.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
so it's
that.
a two from.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the voiceover is definitely Bastion, and then voice acting is just Resident Evil.
Oh, what about House of the Dead?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
mods.
that's
go with
second
second.
shit.
That's second best.
Second bets.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go with that. Which game you believe has the best voice narration or voice acting? So that is Amy Chibi. I'm gonna write that down too because I will forget. No offense, I'm old and
It's
have
just
bad
old
memory.
age.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking, he's out here pushing 50.
Hopefully, Amy Chibi will join us next week on Thursday, and she'll listen to our comments and stuff. And I'm gonna post that question on TikTok and on Instagram so the community there can answer the question as well, and we'll start talking about their answers. So that's it. We'll leave it at that, and we'll see you next week on our new day on Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Can we still talk about like remakes and remasters next week?
I want my Twisted Metal Black remake.
You know what? Honestly, I don't mind that at all. It all depends on how much news comes out. Because if there's a bunch of news and we don't have enough time, but if there's not much news and we can like kind of fill in the gaps and kind of like talk about it, then sure. Gaps. You hang out in Georgia too much.
What one for sure would be Rule of Rose.
Oh my god, that's a beauty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining, and see you next week.
Yeah, so
Manhunt.
Thanks for
Gotta play
participating,
Manhunt.
Amy Chibi.
Amy Chibi, shout out to you for that beautiful
Yeah,
question.
appreciate the participation.
Thank you.
You got yourself a gold medal
And a sticker.
and a sticker.
Actually, you can take this moon
one.
pie right here.
Take
It's
the
yours,
moon
Amy
pie.
Chibi.
Is it half eaten?
No, it's literally still in the
Oh,
bag.
okay.
It's
Because
still
you were
wrapper.
munching on something, so I was
Oh,
like,
no.
is that it?
Yeah.